tea derivative, Jill.
Can I offer you some tea?
Good tea. Nice house.
Would you make me some of that Plomeek soup?
Hello, I'm Anti-Derivative Jill, and I'd like to welcome you to Plomeek Teatime number 53. Today we're going to enjoy a nice relaxing time in the recreation lounge while the computerized space station repairs our ship. What could possibly go wrong? We're analyzing the Star Trek Enterprise episode Dead Stop today, and today we have Scotty R37, who's pretty phenomenal.
Hello.
So if you like him today, make sure you follow him on the Twitter.
You won't like me tomorrow.
Also, I'm really excited to introduce Ben from Cinema Gulp. He's an incredible creator, and he has stellar editing skills. And on top of that, he actually gets out there to film stuff, which goes way above and beyond most of us. So I'm really excited to welcome him. Hello.
I'm excited to be here. Thanks.
Yeah, you're severely undersubbed, but I also want to congratulate you on 600 subscribers.
Thank you.
That's good. Oh no, my mouse stopped working. No, I'll use this mouse. It's fine.
You need a new wheel. No, that's hamsters.
I don't know. Does a rat use a wheel? I think so.
I said mouse. You said mouse, not a
I
rat.
did say mouse. I just switched rodents again.
Uh-oh.
Also, hello, PvP.
Oh, hi, Jill. Hi, everybody. Nice to be here.
And Friday, of course, is a little more casual kind of review rather than the hard-hitting, deep stuff we could do on Tuesday. But we still might get into a few production things if we know anything. So we're going to do that. We do. Hello to Franco Walker. He says to please subscribe, share, hit the like, and select live chat. That's very important because if you don't select live chat, you might miss out on what your friends are saying because it filters.
Oh, yeah. I forgot to switch.
I don't understand what even the purpose of that is.
I think it's to weed out the riffraff.
Hello to Matt G, also known as Taylor Swift, greater than Disney Star Wars.
True story. And hey,
absolutely.
Yeah, and also hello to Canadian Spider-Man.
Wait.
Yeah.
If you don't think that Taylor Swift is better than Disney Star Wars, I would recommend that you shake it off. Thank you.
Is that a song?
It is.
It is.
Oh.
Don't listen to it because once you do, it'll never leave your brain.
Oh my
okay,
God,
I will not
good.
listen to it.
Yeah, there's nothing worse
Haters
than a
gonna
bad
hate.
song. There's nothing worse than a bad song that keeps going around and around in your head.
I don't know if it's bad. That's the thing. It's
it's my ringtone. If I had a phone.
Haters gonna hate. Scotty. Haters gonna hate.
I'm glad somebody likes Taylor Swift here because we have a fan in the chat. Hello to Stephen M. Kal-El. Great to see you here. That's so awesome.
Nice to see you.
Just to be clear, I'm not a Swiftie. I swear.
Also, hello to Mega Cropper and James Caserta, who says I am still sleeping. Guess what? I did take a nap, but I woke up.
Well, we're sorry we were late, but it was a long road getting from there to here.
And it's been a long time, but our time is finally near.
Here, near.
Hey, JT Kirk. Before we recite the entire song, hello to
we had
DJ
faith
Playlist.
that we would make it eventually, but yeah.
Faith of the heart.
I know. I didn't want to be too on the nose.
Well,
no, but I do. I want to karaoke the damn thing.
They're not going to slow us down.
No more.
They're not going to change our minds.
See, just like Shake It Off, Faith of the Heart sticks in your head.
Let's say hello to the chat, and then we'll talk about the theme song.
Hey,
This is the first time we've ever actually had. Like the last time I talked about Enterprise with you, Jill, it was for the Mirror Darkly. And
I
so
love
we
that
didn't
episode.
have Faith of the Heart. And so this is the first time, I think.
Well, actually, this is the first time on my channel. We talked about it on yours.
Yes,
But
because
so
we have talked about Bacula many times.
hello to Mr. CCDV. He says this episode is pretty cool.
Hmm.
And DJ Play Nice says the top messages setting helps with chats with hundreds of viewers. The ticker tape of comments can be really distracting. Oh, well, we don't have that problem here. Kapla.
Whoa.
5.
Hey. Kapla, Bird of Prey.
Kapla bird.
One of my favorite things is when Bird of Prey says hello world. Like, I think that that's going to be a new notification sound. I'm going to have to clip it.
Hello, world.
Yeah.
That's great. And so here are our slides for today, so we can get started on this for this lovely episode.
Well, before, because we do have sort of new people to the conversation of Star
yeah.
Trek. Like, Ben, excuse me, you're a Star Trek fan.
Yes.
But you're not necessarily a Star Trek scholar.
No, absolutely not.
Well, what is your experience with Star Trek?
I'll be completely honest.
Please do.
The first thing I ever saw was The Next Generation when I was a kid. And then the first thing I really got into was Enterprise. And that was because I was in the military when it was out. And it was one of those things that we got feed on if we were on a tour or something, we could watch it. And I think it's the most kind of militaristic of all the Star Trek series, and I think that's because there's no directive. It's it's kind of more military based. It's got a very naval feel, and I feel the people are a little bit more like realistic, hard edged. So yeah, I've never seen Deep Space Nine, and I've never seen Voyager. I tried getting into Voyager, and I didn't connect with it, but yeah, I watched. I want to say I didn't watch the original series until I was about 30. Don't hate me. But
I don't hate you.
Yeah. And then I haven't watched any of the new stuff because it just looks like hot garbage. But
It is hot garbage.
Yeah.
I envy you for not yet watching Deep Space Nine.
Oh yeah,
wow.
See, everyone's always told me you need to watch it, and I only remember. I think there was that crossover episode.
The Trials and Tribulations.
Yeah, where they were where they were introducing it, and I was like, okay. And then there's the show about it, and I was like, eh.
It's actually
no exploration, no thanks.
It's actually Deep Space Nine is actually pretty good cinema. It's worth checking out. It takes a little while to get going, though. I have to say, the early episodes, it's kind of hit or miss, but once it finds its legs, so to speak, it's a pretty good show. And I think
you could say that about every Star Trek series, right? Like it.
Well, the original ones, like
took a while. Yeah,
I don't know. There's some good stuff in season 1. I think of.
Oh, this show to me,
yeah.
Enterprise. To me, I like all 4 seasons, but I've heard that
Great.
Yeah, but anyway.
Yeah, well, it's like TNG is notorious for taking a while to get going.
And I understand why you like Enterprise. It is the closest to us. It kind of feels a little more like the technology on this show is closer to what we have than any other Star Trek.
Yeah, especially like engineering. Engineering is like more realistic. It's like kind of grimy and clunky.
As for the military feel, I mean, it's known that they did actually go on a U.S. submarine to get inspiration for the show. They toured a submarine.
Yeah, the bridge on the ship. I mean, it looks like a submarine. It's set up so differently than the other ones. The carpeted Next Generation bridge, which is kind of like surreal.
It's a mall.
Yeah, in the 80s mall. Like the bridge on Enterprise is so kind of stripped down and realistic.
Mm. And also, hello today to Sean Carter.
Hi, Sean.
Canadian
man.
Spider-Man reminds you, hey, chat, please share this stream to get more cool people in here. Do it on Facebook, Twitter, TikTok, or maybe even ring your grandma and tell her to watch.
My grandmother is dead.
Yeah, that'd be quite
Oh.
a stretch for my
Thanks.
grandmother.
Thanks, Canadian Spider-Man.
I've had zero
I was just
grandparents
getting
for a very
over it.
long time.
Exactly. I've been heartbroken for months, and until I remembered it now.
I don't get any checks for $12 anymore.
Yeah. Except for that one time I appeared in an episode of the second season of Star Trek: The Next Generation, in which case I do. I get $12 every 10 years.
Every time it plays a rerun.
Exactly. It's not my fault no one watches The Outrageous Okana.
John Malama says my polls are white on white in the voting part on my phone. Oh, I'm sorry, you can't vote. It's fun to vote. The poll today is which movie should we review next Friday for
They live.
Halloween?
They live.
They live versus oh, well.
Sorry.
You know what? I do
versus Fortress.
I do have an opinion on this, and while I absolutely adore They Live, how many people have seen Fortress?
I'm going to be honest, I haven't seen either movie.
I haven't seen.
Oh.
I don't even know what you're talking about.
Oh,
I saw the
okay.
poll.
They
I
Live
was
is an underrated John Carpenter classic from '88, and I just saw it on the big screen for the 35th anniversary last month.
Oh,
It was
wow.
So
Oh,
awesome.
yeah.
Cool.
But Fortress is a Christopher Lambert, Kurtwood Smith classic that was direct to video.
Scotty, even if it loses, it's still going to stay on the list, and we'll look at it later.
Was it as good as Gunman with Mario Van Peebles and Christopher Lambert?
I think it was better than Gunman. And also, is Gunman the one with Patrick Stewart?
Yes. Yes.
Yeah. That's great. Because wait, I just have to explain this because the reason, and Ben, you are a god for bringing it up, is that there is a moment where Patrick Stewart's character, who is a villain, is being buried alive, and because he knows he's gonna die, he starts reciting the Lord's Prayer, like "Our Father who art in heaven" and yada yada yada. And I'm sorry, that was blasphemous. But then he's like in the middle of it, and he's like, "Shit, I forgot the rest of it." It's so, oh my God, Gunman is great.
Dr. Dre is in it too.
Great. That's hilarious.
Cool.
I love Mario Van Peebles' name in it. Cole Parker. It's just such a movie name.
Cole Parker. Hello to Mr. Londell's Groovy Movies. Great to see you. And also, what did I have? I had something here. Yeah, he's been watching Enterprise recently and have developed a newfound appreciation for the series, but for Deep Space Nine, he thinks the best seasons are 3 to 5, and then it drops off after that for Callow.
I'm okay with that.
Yeah. Makes sense for some people. The Canadian Spider-Man says there's a submarine as a part of a museum you can go in and tour through near Sydney in Darling Harbor. It's fantastic. I'd love to look at that. I'd love to check out a submarine since I'll never actually be in one underwater. I'd love to tour one. Oh, thank you so much, Sean Carter. That is so sweet.
Woo-hoo.
If They Live is the movie, it's available for free on Tubi. Oh, wow. A tip with a tip.
Tubi literally has the best selection you'll ever see. The only thing is like there's commercials, but who cares? Like Tubi has everything.
Yeah, Tubi's really good, actually.
It is.
I've found stuff on there that I can't find anywhere else. So
Yep.
yeah,
it's undervalued because there's commercials and you can't there's no like pay service to take them down, but it's a free service. So
well, the thing is too, the commercials are usually like what, maybe 30 seconds, or they're not that long, right? And they're like every 20 minutes or something.
Yeah, and there's a counter on the left-hand corner so you can see how much time you have. It's great. It's great.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, it's really an awesome site.
It is. It's a good service, and I'd like to play this video for Sean for the super chat.
That's green.
That's good.
And Mr. CCTV says, I have come to chew bubblegum and kick ass, and I'm all out of bubblegum.
R.I.P.
well,
Rowdy Roddy Piper. R.I.P.
come
Oh,
on, man.
Franco Walker has to go. I'll see you next.
Oh no.
I'm so
Huh.
sorry, Franco Walker. Think your internet's not working. We'll see you next time.
I hope it's not me.
Oh, it is.
Is-
Or me.
That's not possible.
I just
It can't
think
be you.
you know what I could go for is pan fried catfish.
Oh, good
yeah.
idea.
Yeah, Trip loves his catfish. That's his final meal.
I believe that's his pet name for T'Pol.
I could think of a few.
Well, come
Sorry,
on.
did I say that out loud?
Absolutely. Like it's so strange. I have been seeing memes about Trip and T'Pol being all flirty and sexy, and it makes me even more curious about the mating habits of Vulcans.
Well, that is the topic, isn't it? But today we're looking at the Enterprise episode Dead Stop.
Mhm.
There's no way to segue from that.
Nope.
It first aired on October 9th, 2002. And it was written by Mike Sussman and Phyllis Strong and directed by Roxanne Dawson, who, of course, plays B'Elanna Torres in Voyager, Star Trek. Cheers.
Oh, cool. I missed
Ah,
that. I missed that
that's
in
cool.
the credits. Wow, that's
Yeah.
really cool. Darn,
Her
she's a
third.
good director, actually. Really good director.
Oh,
man.
absolutely. This one,
Wow.
yeah, this is one of my favorite episodes of the season for sure.
Oh, right, Ben, since it's your first time here, I always like to have people read the captain's log. Can you read the captain's log that starts off this episode from the private chat?
Captain Starlog, supplemental. It's been almost 4 days since the incident in the Romulan minefield. Repair teams have been working around the clock. Nerves are definitely frayed. I don't know who that was supposed to be. Kind of like Sean Connery and Leonard Nimoy, I guess.
I like it.
Thank you.
Yeah, it was great. The really wonderful thing about this Enterprise episode is that while we see the series as a whole, it's episodic. I mean, there's some serialized stuff in the later seasons, but here you can see this one bring in some continuity with that Romulan damage from the previous episode, Minefield.
Yeah. And Reed's leg, and yeah,
right. Even Reed's leg is still harmed from from the last episode too. It's perfect because you don't necessarily need to watch Minefield in order to enjoy this one.
No.
See, it's funny because my dad is a hardcore original series Star Trek fan. And then when Next Generation came out, he didn't like Next Generation because he thought Picard was a pussy. And then he didn't like Deep Space Nine because my dad's racist. And then he didn't like Voyager because he's sexist. And then I finally, about, I guess 4 years ago, I showed him Enterprise and he was like, you know what? This one's pretty good. So it's one of those situations where he bought the Blu-ray complete series and I watched them. And so I got to catch this on Blu-ray. And there's an audio commentary for this from the writers, which I did not watch. But it makes me want to go through the Blu-rays again.
That's cool.
Also, I just wanted to talk about my father's prejudices.
Well, your father came full circle. He started off, with POS, and he came full circle to Enterprise. So.
Exactly, he went back.
Yes.
Well, and you know what? I would say that it was a long road getting from there to here.
Yeah. And okay,
I'm going to use that joke forever.
Brandon Braga and John Shiban, they came up for this while they were creating the last one. That's why it has that continuity. Shiban says in a Star Trek Monthly issue 106, he says, the usual thing to do would be that the ship is all repaired and everything is back to normal next week. But Brandon and I really felt like this had to be important, that the ship had been damaged, referring to the follow-up episode as continuity without being serialized. And Stephen M says, I really loved how the technology in Enterprise was cleverly had its own look and feel, while simultaneously hinting at what was to come in TOS, TNG, and beyond. And this episode really does that in terms of getting you excited about future technology.
Oh my God. Yeah. I mean, this one secretly snuck in like the discovery of a replicator, you know, and it wasn't even
the replicator.
That's what I love about this episode is like, you would think, you know, I love this prequel show because it's not throwing it in your face that it's a prequel. It just drops things in. You know, this episode could have been about the discovery of the replicator. Oh, and then they would be like showcased. Oh, you remember those? But it doesn't. It's just part of the episode. You know, it's great.
Yeah, it's just
it is
incidental bit of the story. Is basically it. Yeah.
And it's awesome.
Yes.
Well, they're all just like cavemen. They're just like, oh my God, you know, everyone's eating steaks and drinking wine.
It would be handy to have a replicator. Yeah.
Also, in terms of the nature of the replicator and the transporter, although I guess, well, this is the first time that they discover that there is a transporter that can transport living beings, I think.
Well, they've used the transporter in the very first episode.
That is true. I'm mistaken. I apologize. I'm talking out of my ass.
Beings.
Yeah, it was cleared for living tissue.
Yeah,
but no one trusts it. Everyone is McCoy.
Exactly. And hello to PJ from Orville Nation, and also Mr. Lundell says your dad is a smart man. Picard is a giant.
Thank you, Mr. Lundell, and big shout out to Pop Culture Curator in the chat. Thank you for being here, man. It's always a pleasure.
Pop Culture Curator. I haven't gotten down there yet. Let's see where you are. There you are. Hello.
Hi, Pop.
Hello.
Very nice.
Yeah, I think a lot of people kind of thought that about Picard, actually.
If the mine had hit another meter to the left. Oh, this is an important thing.
Oh, this is cool.
Yes.
One of the things is about this particular dilemma that they're in is that it's important to know that the ship right now is dead in the water, essentially, for repairs for at least 3 months. And those are the consequences of the last episode.
Well, and also you get a sense of the vastness of space.
Alex has a great view right there.
Yes. Well, stirrups. But they are 10 years away. They are 10 years away from the Sol system.
Yeah.
Exactly. That's the ramifications of the damage. They're so severe the ship is crippled. So that if they can't make the repairs, it'll take them 10 years just to get to Jupiter if they can find titanium alloy. So it seems like they're pretty effed.
Yeah, and I
well,
love,
the reality
Archer's
is
such a hard-edged captain too. Like he just hates distress call. You know, he just is like, so I guess we gotta put in a distress call. It's just like, you know, like you said, Scotty, like Picard would have just done that in a heartbeat because he's a pussy. You know. But
what I like about when he orders the distress call to be put out, he says, but don't put in too much information or something.
Yeah.
That's the line, which I thought was a great line. Because that's definitely Archer, like being Archer.
Yeah.
Yeah.
This scene is fun because they're manually doing that foot exercise from TOS, but it's Phlox doing it with his hands.
It is a pretty funny still, Jill.
Yes.
it is.
We get
giving
to see
birth
this,
or something.
Oh, jeez, yeah.
we get to see this physical therapy. That it's not just the ship that was damaged, but also Malcolm's leg. And he had to wait. He just has to wait for that Regulan bloodworm to be expelled.
Yeah.
And
not the first time that a Rigelian bloodworm has been referenced in Star Trek in general, and there are some other Easter eggs that show up.
Like Phlox, his quote here: "It's unethical to harm a patient. I can inflict as much pain as I like."
Yeah, you can. How do you like Phlox? How do you guys like Phlox?
I like Phlox. Like,
I think he's great.
He's quirky, but I like him as a character. Yeah.
He gets a fantastic episode, I think, in this season or season. Yeah, it's in this season, I think, where he's on the ship alone, and he thinks DePaul's there, but he's just
Orthos.
delusional. No,
My favorite character.
I like Beagles.
He's an important Member of the ship for sure.
Absolutely.
I had a beagle
Does
as a kid. They're cool
Does
dogs.
T'Pol ever mind meld with Porthos?
I don't think so.
Wasted
That would be
opportunity
strange.
if not. Well, I don't know.
He could make
Mayweather, the most charismatic person in the world.
Dude,
He's not given a lot to do.
No,
I'm
he's
sure
not.
that
That was one of the
Jill-
criticisms of the crew is like him and Sato don't really have a lot to do. I think that's true on
but
his case, but I
Sato-
think Sato's one of my favorite characters, so I don't find that.
Sato, like Hoshi does get a lot as we delve deeper into the Zindi war. She does become sort of a cornerstone. And so I really enjoy how her character progresses. Unfortunately, I do agree with you when it comes to Travis, because the biggest thing that I think of in this episode is Travis. And I was like, how do I get that cut? How do I do that? What do I, is it just chicken and rice?
This episode like personifies his character. Like he's like dead, and it's just, it doesn't really matter, like, and then there he is, I mean, I'm jumping ahead, but it's like, it's just kind of like,
it's fine. That's allowed on Friday.
oh,
It's
okay,
allowed
yeah.
anytime really nowadays.
It's just, I just laugh out loud when it's like, oh, Mayweather's dead, and then it's like, oh no, he's not, and it's just like, who cares? Like nothing changed in the episode.
Yeah, one thing I gotta say though, even the characters that aren't, as interesting, like Mayweather.
Well, I cared because he's cute.
I still enjoy.
No, I know. I'm kidding, but
no, but you're right though. They don't develop his character enough to really care.
I still like them as characters though. Like I like all the characters in Enterprise much more than the characters say in Voyager. Like for me, they work. And I like
agree.
the actors. The actors are good too in this show.
And I follow Linda Park on Twitter.
Oh yes, that's a very
Linda
smart...
Park blocked me on Twitter.
No,
yeah.
I don't know.
So the distress call reaches the Tellarite freighter, who gives them coordinates to this station, this repair station. And on the station, they detect a liquid helium atmosphere.
Is this the first time that we get Tellarites in Enterprise?
I think so. Yes. Yeah. Yes, because
they're historically, like, Tellarites are one of the founding members of the United Federation of Planets, and so credit where credit is due.
Definitely. And Dalek says, "Hey, Jill, can I join the panel?" Yeah. Oh, yeah. You're sure. I'll send you a link, Dalek. I think Dalek is an Enterprise fan. He wants to join. I can send him a link.
And while you're doing that, Mr. Londell's Groovy Movie says Phlox was interesting as a doctor because of his homeopathic approach to medicine and treatment. McCoy would put you on a bio bed and wave a tricorder thingy over you, then inject something. But, well, yeah, and that is, I don't know. Like, I don't want to compare Phlox and McCoy, but I would say that the extrapolation of the medicinal value of what Phlox pioneered, like, part of the reason why Phlox is on the Enterprise is, it's a cultural exchange, and the idea that the biomes that are around the galaxy could be helpful. And I think that actually assisted with the medications and treatments that were, like, the denobulins in the Federation are an incredible, I wish they would be brought up more. Obviously, this is a prequel, and so you're not going to get this in TOS, TNG, DS9, or Voyager. But I wish that it was brought up more in modern Star Trek if they cared. And you know what? And to say I wish that they cared. Well, but I think that the denobulins were actually brought up in.
I think it's denobulins.
Well,
it is denobulins.
Then I'm a racist.
I was just going to say this line that Trip says, it's reconfiguring to fit the saucer section. That's so creepy. And
yeah.
I love, even though, it's obviously super dated CGI. I love the design of the station. And
Well, yeah,
Yeah.
we're not too worried about the probing because that happens all the time, but the station changing itself to fit the ship is definitely something eerie.
I love
yeah,
that
and
too.
you know,
Yeah.
on this is one of my favorite episodes of season 2, but on a technical level, I always kind of battle with it because on one hand, I think it's really cool looking, the exterior, and I love the sound design. But I always think to myself, isn't there no sound in space? I don't know, but you know, because it's
Yeah,
making lots
there
of
is
noise.
there is no sound in space, but it's for the imagination. It's for the audience. It's
I
very
know
clear
it is. I know
that
it is.
the
Yeah,
sounds that you hear in space is for
Well,
us.
I mean, most sci-fi movies have sounds in space when the
they do.
spaceships
Yeah,
fly
yeah.
by because it's just a trope and everybody seems to enjoy it pretty much. So
No, I
I
know. I
love
mean, Star Trek has done that forever.
Yeah.
Like,
Even if
forever.
you
Yeah.
even if you tuned into Klobby's show last night, he was reading a Star Trek comic where there was sounds in space and he was making the sounds. And it's just fun.
I know.
Jeez.
We know better.
I do love this scene though where it reconfigures itself to fit the Enterprise. Like that, this really was a creepy scene. When I watched it, I was like, whoa, this is very creepy for sure.
Yeah, but they don't have a lot of options here.
Well,
No.
Well,
that's it.
PvP.
I got no choice, basically.
It's interesting the way that you sort of describe the NX-01 is you call it the Enterprise. And in the show, they never call it the Enterprise. They just call it Enterprise.
Well,
And I appreciate no. It's not a disparagement. It's just interesting that whenever they discuss NX-01, they always say, what's happening with Enterprise? What's happening with Enterprise? They
you think
never say the Enterprise because they don't want to elevate this ship above the Enterprise, the Constitution class.
yeah, but the Constitution class didn't exist when this show was
No,
happening, right?
but I mean, but we as an audience know that there is only one the Enterprise, and it's
The people who are
NCC
writing this show are
1701.
they're very aware that the reputation of the 1701 precedes this, even though chronologically this one comes before.
Right.
I'm just wondering, are there any other? Is Enterprise in this series the only starship in its class at that time, or are there other ships? Because I
It's
don't
the
remember.
only it's the only one. The
At this
NX-02
point,
hasn't been built yet.
Columbia.
So that's maybe one reason why they just refer to it as Enterprise, because there are no other ships in its class, right?
I want to welcome Dalek451 to the panel. Hello, Dalek. How are you today?
Hi, Jill. Hi, Scotty. Hi, who else is
Yeah.
here? Butterfree 5, Cinnamon Gulp, and PvP.
Yeah.
Hello.
Dalek, how are you?
I just.
Do you have
Oh,
a rash?
thank you, Matt G, for the $1 super chat.
Hey, Jill, do you remember that
Yes.
you owe me $1?
Oh, well, there you go. It's right there. You can have this one.
Okay, thank you.
So this I'm still on this slide because it's really beautiful if you watch it in motion, and it's a good time to mention that this episode was nominated for an Emmy Award for Outstanding Special Effects.
Cool.
In 2003 for a series.
Well deserved.
It should have been, because I think the effects in this episode, for myself at least, were fantastic. I really got into the effects in this episode.
Yeah,
Good
same
stuff.
here.
Yeah. And let's see, where are we here? Enterprise was a masterclass at how to drop Easter eggs.
Oh, and we'll get to the best Easter egg of this season in a minute.
JT Kirk says he cannot stand Flux. Wow.
Wow.
And
gosh.
That's crazy. I love him.
Yeah.
I don't love him. I think he's good.
Mr. Londell says 2001 is probably the only sci-fi movie where there is no sound in space.
And Mr. Londell, I was totes. Yeah, agreed.
That's Kubrick for you. Always going to try to be technically accurate any movie he makes. You know, if it's got anything to do with reality, that is. Some of his films don't as much, but
What, like Eyes Wide Shut?
well, I was thinking, well, that's kind of bordering on reality. I was thinking of
That's
The
a
Shining.
dream
I was
state.
thinking of
That
The
movie is
Shining.
a dream state.
I was thinking more of The Shining, where you have a lot of supernatural elements happening. So,
Well,
They need
PvP
to work
first
a
things
little on their
first is pronounced.
hospitality.
what was that?
I said that it's pronounced The Shinning.
Okay.
They need to work a little on
But
their
I
hospitality.
believe that Jill wanted to.
Archer is just so on edge this whole episode. Like it's such a desperate attempt. He's got to do this, but he's like, what the fuck is going on? Like, I just love it the whole time, especially when those replicators are found. He's just like, I don't trust this. What's going on?
Right. Well,
Too good to
Trip
be true.
is so excited about it.
Yeah. He gets his catfish and hush puppies.
What I love is, even as a captain of a starship,
Cornbread.
he still has a suspicion of new technology he encounters, right? Which is a very human thing, I think, for a lot of people.
Well, yeah. And there's something wrong with a room that is this white, this clean.
Very sterile.
And
and it's interesting that it's interesting that we bring up 2001 because it was one of the notes that Roxanne Dawson mentioned. She wanted it to be a sterile environment and akin to the discovery of 2001. She wanted it to be sort of a clean, inviting environment, something that wouldn't be suspicious. And ultimately it is. But that was like her decision as a director with the set design. And I thought that was great. I thought that was...
Yeah, great.
That's a good
great
choice.
decision. Great decision, I think.
It's kind of ahead of its time, too, because, essentially the ship runs on AI, right?
Yes. And that's something that's becoming more and more relevant every day that we get into, that we talk about it. So anytime an episode brings up artificial intelligence, it has more and more meaning. And there's lots of neat technology to that effect here, like how this AI already knows everything that's wrong with the Enterprise. It even knows where Trip scratched the paint on the hole in the very first episode.
Mm-hmm.
Broken bell.
That's a good line when the captain's like, mentions the paint scratch, and he's like, "Well, I'll get around to it."
I told you to repaint that.
That was a great line. That was funny.
I love that. That was great.
Little
and
bit
again,
of humor.
this is when it comes to like Star Trek, and you mentioned this before, PvP, is that like the characters and their interactions, you get to know the family, you get to know the crew. And this is one of those things that I really do appreciate the interactions between Archer and Trip and T'Pol and Reed and Merryweather and Hoshi. Did I miss anybody?
me,
Probably.
For me,
Phlox.
Enterprise.
We got all the important ones.
Enterprise is
the
closest. It's the closest to TOS as far as the family, and the crew. I think it's the only other one besides the original series that actually has this well knit, crew, that are like a family. Which is
this episode,
I love it.
They do kind of go for sort of the trilogy here.
Yeah, it does. And it just makes the final episode just so much more, irritating.
Yeah.
Oh, I know.
It just completely takes that everything they.
We'll get there.
I know. I'm just
I haven't seen the last episode. No spoilers, please.
Well, they win. But Ben, I love you, and I'm sure that if we ever do, Jill, review These Are the Voyages, I'm sure Bird of Prey and PvP and Dalek will be invited to discuss the weird train wreck that is the last episode of it.
Yeah, I've heard it's pretty bad. Yeah, yeah.
It's insulting.
So it is.
I just
I want to say
watch...
hello to
Rewatch the whole series first, and then just
Yeah.
get to this stinker.
Yeah, watch
at
them
the
in
end.
order. And
Yep.
hello to Jim's Landscape and McPhoenix. He says, "Sorry, I'm late." You're not late. You're just in time. We only just started the episode. They're on a creepy space station with
Don't
a
apologize for your pregnancy, McPhoenix.
computer. Yeah, no, he's not late like that. Not
I
that
don't
kind of
know.
late.
I don't have any context.
Yeah, if you were 9 months late for a live stream, you'd be.
Oh, that reminds me. I got to go to
rerun.
the bathroom. I'll be back in a second.
Oh, jeez.
Okay. Yeah, they're just exploring the analysis of your vessel. All right, so now the computer's going to ask for money.
Yeah.
Not money exactly, but select a method of compensation. So I got that here.
Yeah, the computer is very clinical. It's like method of compensation. It doesn't even use the term payment ever. It's very interesting though. I really like it. The computer.
Yeah,
it's very
it's
cool.
just smart. Yeah. I do wish that the episode was titled "Your Inquiry is Not Recognized." I think it's a better title than Hard Stop, but
It's the best quote in the whole episode, so you're right on there.
Mm.
And Roxanne Dawson not only directs this episode, but she also performs the voice of the automated computer.
Oh, cool.
Really? Oh,
Yeah.
wow. Talented.
It's very creepy.
Very much. Yeah, she did great. Well, it's not the first time she's been the computer. She was also the computer voice in the Star Trek Voyager episode Dreadnought, in which B'Elanna was so upset about the voice of the Cardassians that she put her voice into the Dreadnought that she found, the weapon.
Dreadnought was a
that
great
she
episode.
reprogrammed. It is.
I really
It's
like that
incredible.
one. Yeah, that was a great episode. Yep. I love the special effects here in this episode, though. Those mechanical arms, man, it's very, very creepy. It really is.
Right, yeah. Mayweather has no idea what's going on, so he's like, what's happening?" There's some mechanical.
He never
arms.
knows what's going on.
Oh, poor guy. No one keeps him in the loop.
Oh boy.
That's why he gets tricked later.
Yeah.
So even though Tucker says his team would take 3 months, the computer is only going to take 34.2 hours. But here's our replicator.
This moment right here, you have to take a second and think about it. You're like, oh shit, did they just find a replicator? And it's just like I said, it's just thrown in this episode at random. It's awesome.
You know what would have been cool if they had if Enterprise somehow had downloaded some of the information about how this replicator was working.
Yeah.
And they'd fed that into the development of replicators in the future. That would have been really cool.
But see, that's where I think it would almost be sort of pushing it too far. Like, I love that somebody said in the chat a few minutes ago, like, this show kind of drops Easter eggs. And I think it's such good. The show has way better writing than it gets credit for. And this scene is a perfect example of that. It's like they just find a replicator. It's not what the show's about. It's not what the episode's about, but there it is. And it plays a small part in the episode, and then they move on. But you as a Star Trek fan are like, holy shit.
Well, no, it doesn't. It's not that small of a part of the episode. That's how the entire station works. The whole station works on replication.
No, I know. You're right. But it's just, I just mean like, that's not, the show isn't like, it's not, it's dropped in.
It's not using it as a member berry.
It's
using it's using it as a very important tool that the station is using, because the station itself doesn't just replicate food and water. It also is replicating the items that it needs in order to repair the ship. All the parts.
And so replicating the ship, basically. Yeah.
And so it reminded me immediately of the enormous exocomps, which make repairs by replicating the tools that they need on demand. And so I thought that was really awesome to just have a whole station like that. And what's incredible to me is that on the first time seeing this episode is that we're going to see the exocomp. Let me know if you spot the exocomp. You know what it is. It's in the episode.
And the way Tripp describes it too, it's almost like a 3D printer. He's like, oh, we can just build these parts in 15 minutes.
Yeah, he did get really excited about that.
The thing is, too, I'm sure that obviously the crew seeing this device, this has put the idea into their heads that this is a feasible scientific, thing they could develop eventually themselves, right? So I thought that was kind of a cool little aspect
Definitely.
to it.
There's your catfish.
Oh, I'm
It's
getting
some
hungry
rice.
now. Darn.
And doesn't he say, yeah, there it is. There's not a catfish within 130 light years.
Yeah,
The
well,
genome
they
the
got it out of the.
genome for wait a minute. The
Oh, go ahead.
genome for the catfish is stored in the enterprise computer. I could understand that they have I guess do you need the DNA for like my problem here is that the enterprise itself does not have a replicator. So why does it need to know the genome for a catfish?
I'm guessing DNA for all types of animals
Do you
is
think it
part
just
of
has a database of all Earth animals?
pretty much. It's be like advanced Wikipedia. You have
Okay.
everything you need.
Yeah, you never know when you need to sequence a fish.
Oh, for medical reasons, for you could
Oh,
see.
right. That is how Phlox does his medicine, so that makes sense.
The whole idea of a space station out in the middle of space that can replicate something on Earth from a lake is just creepy.
Yeah, exactly. And that's Archer agrees with you.
Mm-hmm.
And I want to say hello to Word Wizard Captain Infinity. Hey, Captain.
Yo.
I feel like T'Pol's mom catfished us.
Oh,
Carfished.
Oh, carfished us.
carfish.
I think it was meant to be catfish, yeah.
Oh, look, I love this. This is how it's actually repairing it. It
Mm-hmm.
replicated that panel. It wasn't there before.
Yeah, and obviously we'll get to it, but the final shot, probably the creepiest, indicates that you can't destroy this thing.
Oh, there it is.
Mm-hmm.
There's my favorite robot. Repurposed to be a medical regenerator. So this is the exocomp from one of my favorite Star Trek Next Generation episodes. The quality of life. But here it's being used as a medical regenerator, which is of course is a precursor to the medical technology that the Federation will one day develop its own medical regenerators and replicators. And that's the fun of Enterprise is getting to tease this technology that they don't have, but someday they're gonna have.
Exactly. And they just do it so great. It's never ham-fisted. It's always just dropped in.
Mhm. It's using cytokinetic enzyme to stimulate the cell division. Fox. And there's some good Spock level humor here when he talks to Paul in terms of talking about the gremlins. You just got to watch the episode to get the joke, though. And it's just how confused she is, anyway. Oh, yeah, right. It's a mythical creature. British pilots used to blame them for problems they couldn't explain. So T'Pol says, "Perhaps I should scan for one." And so let's see. It's evolving. What's evolving? What do you think's evolving? Let's see here.
Is there any indication before this episode that Mayweather and Hoshi have a sort of friendship or relationship? Like they do sort of establish it. They try and bring it in.
Well, I mean, they're bridge members of a small crew. They must have some relationship.
Oh,
Agreed.
come on. He plays a trick on her with strawberry gelatin, and
Yeah, that's established in this episode.
yeah, it's
But before
established
that-
that he's a funny guy. We just don't see it.
Funny how? He amuses
Funny
you?
how.
Well, they're having a good time in this scene, that's for sure.
Well, and she's
Well-
the only one that gives a shit when he's dead.
Basically.
She goes
Well,
in
no,
there.
wait. The captain cares too
No, he
because he
does.
was going to
Yeah,
have
yeah.
breakfast with him, and he kind of feels guilty he didn't do that.
Well, that's the least
But
he could
something
do.
before this scene I missed. Before I mentioned the gremlins, but they were also talking about how Archer is not. It has a funny feeling about something doesn't smell right to him. He's suspicious of this entire endeavor, and I think that was important.
I do too.
On rewatching this. Sorry.
Please go.
No, please.
Okay, on rewatching it, because I didn't think of it the first time, but I've rewatched this episode a number of times over the years. I've always seen if I could pick up any hint that the station, and I still like battle with myself. Is this station alive? Does it? I think it almost counts as a life form. It's able to do some of the things that life forms are able to do.
Yeah. It has
But
defense
that
mechanisms.
is-
Yeah, absolutely. If you think that
produce-
the exocomps are alive in a sense, so is the space station. Yes.
But they also established that the reason that the computer is as capable as it is because of the abduction of alien races, and it does sort of what Anonymous says in the chat. This almost felt like it could have been a precursor to the Borg, but it wasn't, and I got that kind of vibe. I sent a message to Jill after I had seen the episode, and I was like, who made this space station? And because it was an assimilation situation.
I think it would probably, had they had their 7 seasons, I really would have hoped they had gone back to this, and we would
Oh,
have.
that's an
gotten
interesting
backstory.
idea. And James Caserta says the space station is evolving in that sense, in terms of learning more from each new species that they turn into processing units, which of course we're getting to the end, but that's the horror aspect of this episode, and it's Halloween, so it's okay to mention it now that we're
Your
there.
biological and technological distinctiveness will be added to our own. Oh, wait, do you have it? Oh, we do have it. I know you got it.
What? I don't
where are
have
your
the Borg.
clips? No, not the clips.
Oh.
Not that clip. Where is your inquiry has not been recognized?
That's number 8.
Your inquiry was not recognized.
You know, there is a Borg aspect later on in the episode, though, which I won't mention, to give anything away. 'cause
I
we're not
just
there
did it
yet.
anyway. Mr. Lundell
spoilers.
says sentient AI at least. And yes, and it's shades of the ultimate computer too, where it says that with this technology, Starfleet could build ships that maintain themselves. They wouldn't need chief engineers or tactical officers.
Oh, jeez. There goes the job.
Mhm. Yeah, so same story there.
I was going to say this could have been the evolution of V'ger, but V'ger hasn't happened yet. So,
Oh, interesting idea. But something like that. Kronos. Hey, Kronos.
Hey, Kronos.
And okay, this is where they plan their insubordination.
Yeah, they were being really stupid here, really.
Well, and that's the problem that I have with this episode is that if it weren't like this is a repair station that will assist, and the only thing that messes up the repair station is Enterprise.
I mean, why does the repair station even have corridors that go to this highly, secretive place? They don't have to have corridors.
They need ventilation and Jeffrey's tubes.
They have a completely separate section with
That's a
no
good-
way to
good point.
get to it.
That is a really good point, Bird.
Yeah, it wouldn't need.
Yeah.
Wow.
Well, I think
Yeah.
the reason we have this corridor is because it's just part of the storyline where they go and
Exactly.
Yeah,
How,
obviously.
how else can
Well,
our
yeah.
heroes get there?
they just do this stupid, insubordinate act, as Jill mentioned, and it's like,
Although I guess they could have taken the shuttle, tried to dock and cut their way.
All
in.
right.
Anyway, sorry.
oh, this is an interesting scene.
No, go back one.
Yeah, just back one, Jill, please. An interesting scene because that's Archer's voice telling him where to head to come down to the room, right? Like, and that's the computer mimicking Archer's voice. I would think. 'Cause it's
Yeah,
not
oh,
actually Archer,
absolutely.
right?
Yes.
So that was
yes, definitely.
very,
Yes,
very
And
it's
that
tricky.
is an interesting point, but that's not why I wanted to go back to this particular slide. I wanted to
Is that a pepper
admire.
shaker?
Oh no, it's a dildo.
It is, isn't it?
Yeah, it is.
Wow. I wonder if it's. Never mind.
Or it's
Well,
maybe
no,
some-
it's a Gene Roddenberry officially licensed. You can go to StarTrek.com.
I would say, I
and-
wonder if it was or Mayweather's personal, copy of his own, or just
But come
something he
on, what a
picked up.
physical
I'll have to-
what a
Right.
physical specimen. Like Travis Mayweather is a fit man. I
he
really
sells. He probably
admire.
–
sells them.
yeah, it looks like he works out a bit for sure. Yeah,
He lifts.
He takes care of himself.
I would
Definitely.
I would guess he probably does. Yeah, probably does lift. as
But
Scotty
don't get
said.
too excited. We don't have a decontamination scene in this episode. Oh, there's a private chat. It
Oh,
probably says,
jeez.
Scott, shut up.
No, it's no, it's Cinemagulp. He had to step away. Kronos.
Good.
Kronos. Hey, Kronos is here. And he says, "Lube in space."
It's
No,
the
there's a
plasma coolant or
concept.
whatever.
There's a concept for a show,
Yeah.
or maybe not.
Flesh Gordon.
I had never seen this before. And all the times watching the show, I never noticed.
This is what happens when you take screenshots. Sometimes you get to see new things.
And I think that you're right, Bird of Prey. I think it's a pepper grinder.
Yeah, that's what I was going to say. Actually, pepper grinder. Yeah,
I had to go all blue and
it
say
could be.
was,
It could very well be.
a phallus. I know we've lost like 3 viewers because I brought up. Anyway, I'm sorry.
Wow, says Canadian Spider-Man. Am I going to have to come up there and keep things classy on that panel?
Yes.
Well, if Joe wants to invite you, like, why not?
Oh,
Oh,
yeah.
Spidey's always invited.
Yeah, Spidey's always.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I like Spidey. Spidey's fun. If Spidey wants to join, that'd be great.
Did we get to see the model?
Oh,
Yet?
no, not yet. Not yet. The model hasn't come up yet. No,
Okay.
no. They're just being teleported from the corridor because the computer doesn't like them snooping around. So that the computer, the space station teleports them back to the bridge.
I like how it puts them on the bridge too, so they're going to be totally embarrassed and look really, really bad because everybody's staring at them, going, "What are you guys doing? Crawling around on the floor?"
Well, they were exploring because Tucker was so fascinated by the fact that the computer, he couldn't tell where the computer was, and he thought it was this really small room, and so he wanted to see how this computer worked. And
Well, and also this is a situation where not only Trip but also Phlox is like, this technology could advance what we do so much. Like, he wants the exocomp that regenerates cellular regeneration. He's like, oh, I hope maybe the captain can negotiate some sort of trade. And that's what Trip wants. He's like, do you have any idea how complex the computer would have to be? I just want to see it.
And just
I
think,
I feel
endless-
like this
endless
should have been something that's going to happen enough that the designers of the station would have included a line at the beginning that said, and you'll make no attempt to, look at how our technology works, as part of the
Right. You know
conditions
what? You're right.
for,
That they should have
I
warned
mean,
them about
basically
it.
their own prime directive or something. And just, everybody clicks it. Yeah, I agree. And,
Oh
okay.
no, that's right.
Or maybe they were. That does make sense, but maybe they were just hoping that their guests aren't that curious, and they just didn't expect the exploration of the Enterprise of the
Or
space
now
station.
that we talk about it, maybe they were wanting the guests to be curious, and that way they could, pluck a guy out without it being too suspicious.
But that's also, now that you mention it, that's also where things sort of fall apart, is because if you wanted another cerebral cortex to power your station, then why not take the trespassers as opposed to a random?
Well, because the computer knew the trespassers would be more valuable people, and they would never leave them to die. But if you take somebody from random, they probably aren't all that important.
Well, and to support what you're saying is that they do, like the station does provide a almost perfect facsimile of Travis.
Yeah, I mean, and if they were almost ready to leave Travis to die as is, and had they picked somebody who doesn't appear on the bridge at all, certainly they.
Yeah, if like Seth
yeah.
MacFarlane was kidnapped, no one would have cared.
Well, what saves him is biology, but we'll get there.
Yes.
This is forbidden fruit, says Anonymous. Monkey paw sort of story. Oh, right. Be careful what you wish for. If you wish for really quick repairs, it's almost too good to be true, and it probably is.
What's the name of Travis's actor?
I feel terrible. I don't know his name. I
don't either. That's why I'm asking.
His name is Connor Trenier.
No, that's Trip.
I thought that's who you were asking about.
No, Travis.
No, Mayweather.
Anson.
Oh, I'm sorry.
Okay, it's Anthony Montgomery.
Anthony Montgomery. He's like underused. I think he's very charismatic and likable. Thank you, Stephen M, for quick draw McGrawing it.
Yes, thank you.
I appreciate that so much.
Oh my God.
I'm trying to highlight it, Jill.
I was trying to highlight it for you.
We're fighting. We're arm wrestling. Anyway. Thank you so much, Stephen M. Kal-El.
What is charismatic? Charismatic.
That's what happens when an inebriated person says charismatic.
Yeah, you got charismatic.
Travis
there.
was okay, but Reed was annoying, says Kronos.
I like them both.
I enjoy the entire crew.
Yeah, exactly.
Stephen M agrees with you, Bird. The space station should have had an EULA for Archer to tap, signifying agreement to its terms.
Yeah.
Yep.
Actually, awesome point. Yep. Well, that's another thing.
Yes.
I was just wondering, the other thing about it was the AI's, interaction, verbally with the crew. I think it could have been programmed a little smarter in a sense, like to just kind of be a little more personable and not as clinical, and maybe placated them to a certain extent and made them feel relaxed, if you know what I'm saying.
Right. Yeah. I hear you. Yeah, because the way it communicates is off-putting to begin with. Yeah, the suspicion comes right off the bat, whereas if it was using intelligence and if it was a little more personable, I agree completely. Like where it can kind of make you feel at ease. Like, oh, don't worry, this is normal. Yeah.
Yeah, exactly.
But it doesn't do that. It's creepy right off the bat.
Yeah, exactly, Cinema. But I think I think it's creepy because it serves the story, I guess, and it is fun to see such a creepy story. But that was one of the little flaws in the episode for me, when I watched it. But I'm just being nitpicky, so it's no big deal. But yeah,
A matter energy converter.
they should have definitely considered that idea. But oh well.
Thanks, but I'll stick with whatever chef's serving.
He's like, I'm not eating.
I'm sorry about that, Ben. I was just going through some of the clips I missed out on.
Oh no, please continue.
Yeah, there was also the one with the leg.
Are you sure this thing knows what it's doing?
There's a regenerator.
They even fixed the squeak in the floor. I haven't seen any no trespassing signs.
Yeah, like Bird said, there was no agreement to not crawl around the air ducts.
Yeah, put up a few signs. Would have solved the problem.
Would have stopped.
No
Trip.
smoking.
Well, yeah, I mean, they should have just had more secure. I mean, they got access to the corridor pretty easily, didn't they? So
They did, but here, but they get teleported out, and so Archer dresses them down. You could have been transported into space, which is pretty true. He's pretty right here.
Oh yeah,
Well,
Archer's
and this is
totally right.
This is something that I found interesting about the set design and the just the normal day-to-day things that they had on hand to make the set is that the grate or the panel that they had to take out of the ceiling is it's a furnace filter.
It looked to me like an air conditioning filter.
But you do get what I mean in terms of it being. It's a filter. It's a filter for an environmental system in a modern home.
It looked like it, yes.
Yeah, exactly. But it doesn't look out of place on Enterprise because, we're not too far away from this time period.
Well, and it's funny that you bring it up because I did want to just talk about the general, production design of it. Is that I like the buttons and the physical knobs and buttons and levers and everything.
Yeah,
that sort of predate. They predate the original series, but not that much. Like you don't have the gummy buttons. Like there is a certain level of modern technology being put in the future, as you said, Ben, with looking like a submarine or a modern exploratory
vessel. Especially
vessel.
when you compare it to TNG with the goofy touch screens and there's no buttons. It's all just screens.
Yeah.
Oh yeah. Once you get to
it's
the
all
L
made
cars,
by Apple.
Once you get to the L cars, you're done with the buttons. So now it's all just the user interface. And Kronos asks, "Is that an exocomp?" Yes, it was an exocomp that was fixing Malcolm's leg.
Yeah, the Enterprise controls are very believable and relatable because they're not that far removed from what we have in the real world here. So.
No, absolutely, it's almost spot on.
So Stephen M has a great point. I agree with this. This is the part of the episode I like the least. Still, I find Trip's argument to be weak. I mean, if you visit someone's home, you don't just start wandering off on your own without permission just because there are no signs prohibiting it.
That's Trip, though. That's just his character.
That is his character, but is it Reed's character?
Yeah, Reed is he's different in this one. He's goofier than he normally is for some reason. Yeah,
for some reason he goes
very
along with
straight-laced. Yeah.
And at least Archer mentions it. He says to Reed, "You've made it clear that you think discipline aboard Enterprise has gotten a little too lax." I'm beginning to agree with you.
Agreed. Now, this is something that has been brought up a couple times in terms of character development for Malcolm Reed. Like, do you guys think that he's, gay?
I never thought
about it.
No.
Never
I
heard
don't
it
know.
brought up, and he
Oh,
certainly
no,
doesn't think he's gay.
because he's British.
No, but it
Scotty.
is. No, but it is brought up. It's brought up by the actor. He had said that he was playing it that way because it was supposed to be an introduction of the first openly gay character in Star Trek, and then through production, it was
Where
sort
did
of
he
curbed.
bring this up?
Supposed to be by whom? Who was trying to integrate that into the show?
The writers and the actor.
Which writer?
Brannon Braga, but Berman said nay. And then the actor who played Malcolm said that's the way that he was sort of playing it.
Oh, I hadn't heard about that.
His character never had any kind of. His character never had any kind of love story angle. So what? Would
and he was certainly attracted to women.
He was
the very early episodes.
It was something that was brought up. I'm not.
His major character trait is that when the shit hits the fan, he can get pretty hardcore. You know, he's good with guns. You know.
Well, I didn't mean to bring up a Reed alert.
It's okay. It's something. It's a conversation that's being had out there, and
totally.
I didn't know about it either because I don't get that from the show at all.
Well, it is out there,
so it's interesting.
That's all I'm saying.
No, I like how they kept the sexual politics out of a lot of original Trek. They didn't hit you over the head constantly with an agenda.
Well, and if it were in Star Trek, it wouldn't be a big deal. He would still be doing his job, and it wouldn't be something that they would be shoving onto the bridge, or it would be something that would be off the bridge, and you'd see it once in a while, but you wouldn't care because he's still doing what he has to do. If they had put it in,
they wouldn't be dwelling constantly. Yeah,
I think Robert Meyer Burnett said it best when he was like, "Why is it a big deal in this future of an openly gay person when there's aliens walking around, on the ship?"
Nobody would care.
Yeah. Nobody would give a shit.
If Malcolm were gay, no one would care. Cam says, "Hi, Jill, panel, and chat. Good to see you all."
Hey, Cam.
It's always great to see Cam.
Like, I don't even know where a Vulcan's vagina is. So,
well, did you notice anything interesting while you were in there?
In a Vulcan's vagina, I've never been in one. So
no, I'm only mentioning that line from Archer because
here we go.
Because even though
it just worked perfectly with what Scotty just said. That line, sorry.
Oh, boy.
Because even though he's reprimanding them, he's also like, "Hey, I'm really suspicious about this. Did you see anything?" And so Canadian Spider-Man says they are explorers, though. It is their whole purpose.
True. And that's what I like about it. And that's why I sort of give Trip a pass in this, in terms of we got to find out if we can see it, we don't even have to steal it. We don't have to do anything with it. If we can just scan it, it would advance our technology so incredibly. And we are basically on a space station that is a machine. So can we go check it out? I don't see why not.
I get your point, Scotty, but I think they still should have run it by the captain first.
That is agreed.
Yes,
I agree.
Agree completely. PvP. And Stephen Callell says, "I love the look of the LCARS interface. It can be credited for the touchscreen technology we have today." Yeah, absolutely. I think so too. And it was all inspired by a microwave.
I like knobs and buttons.
Hey,
thank you.
Also,
hey, Mr. Brown.
Hello, Mr. Brown Alliance. He says to you, Scotty, that you are based.
Apparently. Thank you, I guess. Is that good?
Yes,
Hooray.
It's good.
Great.
It's always a pleasure to see you. The other kids are okay too, says Cam. Oh, thanks for sharing my video yesterday, Jill, says Canadian Spider-Man. Just returned the favor. I recommend sharing the stream chat. It really helps grow this channel. and gets other friends in here.
Oh,
Yeah,
totes.
sure would.
And, you know, send money.
And yeah, greetings. Hello to everybody listening. And unfortunately, it looks like Malcolm. Well, I mean, we've been talking about that. It looks like Ensign Mayweather has been killed. This is what the space station wants us to think, anyway.
And I do like the Rigelian connection. Again, Rigelians. I've never seen a Rigelian. Have you ever seen a Rigelian?
All right, Jillian.
I don't recall.
Hold on, give me a second here. I'm interested now.
Oh, wait.
You've got me interested in something.
They said, oh, well, heavens, I apologize.
I need to work a little on their hospitality.
No, not that one. Play the other one.
I will. Stop yelling.
Your inquiry was not recognized.
Beautiful.
There it is.
And interestingly enough, Roxanne Dawson did direct the episode, and they hired another actress to do the voice of the computer. And then Rick Berman said, "Can Roxanne like re-record that, because it was almost good, but we just need another one." And so she ended up doing it. But there were many people who auditioned for the voice of the space station. And Roxanne Dawson was ultimately the one who was cast. She thought it was going to be distracting because people would recognize her voice. And
Joe?
I found it.
Oh, hold on. Dalek has something to say. Hey, Dalek, what's up?
All I have to say is that I actually have to go. So.
Oh no, you didn't get to share anything about. Wait. Do you have a moment to tell us what you think about this episode? If you had anything you wanted to share.
Unfortunately, I don't have anything to add really, because I've really never really seen much of this series. I've seen all, you know.
Oh,
I've seen
I
all
thought
the
you
others,
were.
like,
I don't know why I thought you were a big Enterprise fan. I was just like,
I'm actually no,
Probably
I'm
because
not.
he asked to come on the panel.
I've barely
Yes.
watched any of the. I'm sorry, but I've barely watched any of this series. I just wanted to come up here and talk with you all. That's all.
About what?
Oh, come on. Well, if you're gonna put me on the spot like that, I may as well just go now.
On the spot? You volunteered.
yeah. Did you have anything you want to share with us before you leave? Let us know. It could be anything.
Your favorite color?
Is it green? Because Daleks.
Are Daleks green?
Are they? Well, sometimes.
Gray.
Are they gray?
In some.
I think I've seen a pink one.
Who's your favorite doctor on Star Trek?
Dude, that's a hard one.
Oh my God! I'm giving you a bone.
What?
Yeah, it's definitely.
Try harder, Homer.
Probably. I don't know. What do you want me to say? What do you want me to say, McCoy?
Of course. That's the only answer.
I see every Star Trek show and movie, says Jim. Wow, that's a lot of dedication there. I see every real Star Trek movie, TV show. But okay, Dalek, and it was thanks for stopping by.
I think the only thing I really can share with you all is that this week I got this this week I bought this classic this classic Doctor Who box set of the three original stories of Doctor Who.
Oh, that's great.
No, I do watch Star Trek, Pop.
Yeah, you watch some Star Trek, but not so much Enterprise. Okay, well, good to know. I didn't know what you watch and what you don't
I've
watch.
watched all
So
of.
that's good.
Look,
That's good to
Jill.
be
I've
good
watched
at.
all. I'll tell you the Star Trek I've seen. I've seen all of TNG, which is the possibly I think for me is my favorite series. I've seen all of DS9. I've seen all of Voyager, and I've seen some of the original series, but not quite all of it. And I haven't, but I've barely watched Enterprise because it just
What's your
wasn't.
bigger goal? Your bigger hole there, the Enterprise. All right, that's cool. Well, there you go. Now you know what to watch. Go watch Enterprise. And enjoy your dinner too, because you're having tea time, right? That's why you're going.
That's why I'm going. Yes. So yeah, I better. My tea's waiting for me, so I better go. So I'll see. One last thing. I'm thinking of, if anyone's interested, I'm thinking of starting live streaming games over on, not on YouTube, on Twitch. If anyone's on there. So I'm not quite sure when I'll
Okay.
start doing that.
Well, when you start doing that, let me know what your link is for that. So I'll promote that instead of your YouTube channel if you want to switch that around. Or I could promote both of them because there's more characters.
Okay, thanks, Jill. But
sure, no problem.
So yeah. Anyway, yeah. I gotta go. So I'll see you all later, and have a good stream. Bye bye.
Okay. Bye,
Yep.
Dalek.
Bye, Dalek.
There's that.
Yeah, there's. Oh, and speaking of nothing that was just happening, Archer's
going nuts.
He is. This is great. This is a great scene. Okay, so I think I have the whole thing here. Archer. Well, hold on. I think I like this exchange, so I'm gonna put it in the private chat. I should have been doing that.
This scene is a good example of why I think it was, I can't remember who it was that brought it up. Like, I think it was PvP, that the voice is so it's so, it's not personable. It's very static. Like this scene is a perfect example of that, because the fact that it can't communicate as a person just gets Archer more and more pissed.
Yeah, this reminds me of when I call. This reminds me of when I call customer service.
Yes. Exactly.
I need to talk to a person.
Oh, how many times have I said that?
Literally, I've 5 minutes into a conversation on customer service, I realized I wasn't talking to a human being, and then you can just start saying all kinds of wacky shit, and it gets completely thrown off. It's great.
Yeah, well, I just keep hitting 0 until somebody answers.
Yeah.
Oh, does that work, Jill? I never realized that.
Mm-hmm.
Good tip. I'll have to remember that.
Works for me anyway.
But
the
yeah,
one place that does not ever take you to a person is the IRS.
Oh no. Well, who wants to be Archer?
I do.
Okay.
Well, and this is the thing, and like this is sort of a trope of Star Trek, is where, like, from the original series, is where Kirk talks a computer into, all right, and this is Archer being like, come on.
Yeah, he can't talk a computer to death.
He won't.
Yeah,
he refuses.
But unlike Kirk, I mean, this computer ain't going to bite, ain't going to talk back. So,
Well,
there's
can
no
you read
real
the private
logic.
chat then?
But we've recently covered the ultimate computer, and Kirk has talked down a computer with one word.
Oh, many times.
Why?
He's talked it down.
James Caserta says we are Jill, and so does McPhoenix.
We are Jill.
We are the Jill.
Our Jill. Wow. We are integrated.
Loyal yet creepy fan base, Jill.
Yeah, well.
I still think Jill needs to get a fan club started
Yeah,
up.
your biological and technological distinctiveness will be integrated into our own.
Into the Jill.
Someone clip that. I want that ringtone. But we all know, come on, Jill, we know Matt G is the B. Joe Trimble of your fan group.
Yeah, he is. He is.
That's true.
Cam
Yeah.
Cam is like Dalek 451. I never got into this series. I was working 12-hour days, 6 days a week in the early 2000s. Maybe I should go back and check it out. Yeah, you should.
That's no excuse, man. I was in the military when this show was on, and I watched it. Sorry.
Mhm.
Yeah, you should go back and watch it. It's great, and it holds up really well.
Yeah,
too.
no excuses, Cam Cam. Thank you for serving, but thank you for your service.
Oh, sure.
Well, and of course. But
Yes, Scotty.
like this is if you are frustrated with modern Trek and you haven't seen Enterprise, check this out. Simply
100%.
because
Yeah.
it is still written, produced by people who were both frustrated and inspired by Gene Roddenberry himself. And so there is an adherence, or at least there is a following of what Gene wanted in the first place.
There's a respect for canon, basically.
100. Yeah,
That's a
absolutely.
Way better way to say it, PvP.
And
Thank you.
the show is still people using their brains to solve problems, just in a very different. It's in a very different way because these people are all learning. Like it's so much more dangerous to go out on these missions in this time that this show takes place. It's not so routine. Like when you get to TNG, it's just like another day. This is all pretty standard routine stuff. But here, it's like everything they do it's the first time it's happened. So and the show really keeps that in mind, which is another thing I love about it.
Well, and that's what I really appreciate about Star Trek, and that's something that I've said many times before, is that people who know what they're doing and know how to do their jobs.
Yeah.
Yep. They're basically
definitely. It's real Star Trek.
Intelligent, rational adults. It's like that's what real Trek should be about, right? So,
and correct me if I'm wrong. I haven't watched any of the new series, but I think that's where they are failing. Is that it's more just like whiny, bratty people. And the writers don't know how to write these characters.
Right, exactly. The insubordination is much, much higher. It happens now and then in this Star Trek, but in newer stuff, it happens. It's like a day-to-day thing. And it's not just away from the captain, like, oh, don't tell the captain. It's right in front of the captain. Like we're being insubordinate right in front of you, and you're not going to do anything about it. Or even say I should do something about it, because sometimes in regular Star Trek they're like, I should put you in the brig for that, but they don't even say that in the new.
So it sounds like they're trying to bring like real world into Star Trek instead of keeping with what Star Trek originally was.
And that's the problem, because it's supposed to be escapism, but instead they're like, here's the world today, and world today is what Star Trek is now, instead of being the future that we're supposed to aspire to become.
Yeah,
I'm so glad I never watched any of
That's
those
a
shows.
great summation of the state of Trek, Jill. Actually, that puts it really well. Because I mean, the insubordination thing, it's like, where's the chain of command? I mean, without the chain of command, it's not Star Trek, right? Without respect for among the crew,
Well, yeah, without that, you're very likely to get in trouble, and just everyone's gonna die. Is what would really happen.
Well, the one
if
that
they
comes
want to bring reality into it.
The one that comes to mind I heard about was that Strange New Worlds episode where it was a musical and you had like Spock singing and dancing or something. And
Yeah, no, I saw some of it. He was singing about his broken heart or something about
Hey,
about Nurse
brother.
Chapel.
Absolutely absurd.
I know that
absurd.
TOS has its own musical episode.
It doesn't even
it doesn't
add up with Star Trek, because the whole point is these people were handpicked because of talent and character, and you wouldn't have anybody that would be insubordinate because you would root out anybody beforehand. You know, like that's why everyone on the older shows and this show specifically, like everyone's just doing their job. It just it sounds weird when Jill's talking about like insubordination and like it's just weird.
Well, the old shows.
But Kronos says he's not me. I'm not Jill, says Kronos. So that's good.
Neither am I. Neither am I.
I'm not either.
They wouldn't get out of the academy if
I'm glad to hear that.
If they
You are
weren't
not
top
of the
quality.
party.
Yeah, you're right, PvP. They wouldn't even get out of the academy, so it doesn't make sense. Like, why would you go through all that and then you get on a ship and you're just a dick? You know?
Exactly.
And none of the people in the newer stuff would ever even pass the psychology test.
Well, and we say this in terms of being in universe of the crew members, but also as an audience member, one of the reasons that I enjoy this show is because, like, I started watching this when I was a kid, and I was like, this is how adults conduct themselves. They don't argue, they don't cry, they're not snarky. They try and solve a problem because these problems ultimately lead to life or death. You are in space. It is the most hostile of vacuums. And you have to do what you were brought on this ship to do. And now, as you mentioned, Ben, is that now they're bringing it to a modern sensibility where it's like, okay, so how are you feeling? And how are we going to make this work for you?
Well,
and it's like,
speaking of
no,
feelings,
no,
we
no.
do
We need
have
the EPS
how
conduit
Hoshi
fixed
feels
now
about
because the
Mayweather,
Borg are attacking the
but
ship.
it's only because
The
he's
replicator
actually
triggers
died.
me.
Or at least everybody thinks he's actually died.
This
And
is
so,
why. This is why I love.
And
this
so
is
that's
I
why
love Chief
you have
O'Brien.
more
Anyway.
appropriate. We have more appropriate moments of emotion here. In
Yes.
terms of her friendship with him and how she's expressing that.
She is striking.
She's very attractive. Yes.
Yeah.
Has she been in anything else? I'm gonna go check her IMDb.
Yeah. She's been on lots of shows.
Cool.
Cal
I
L
remember
says,
she was in an episode of Las Vegas.
not surprisingly, the very same crew members who are insubordinate demand respect from others. To quote Worf, respect is earned, not given away. And it's also a two-way street. Oh, right. Doesn't he say that to Q?
Oh, she was on Bosch for a long time. With another Star Trek actor, Titus Welliver.
And Pop says they wouldn't last a day in basic training at Starfleet Academy. He also said something else. Something about...
Probably something about how I wouldn't either.
No, he doesn't say that.
No, I know, but come on. How long do you think I would last at Starfleet Academy?
I don't know.
Probably
I'm more
not
of a
long, would be
Trelane.
my guess.
Yeah, I'm more of a Trelane. I'm more of a Harry Mudd.
Well, you're going to be a non-commissioned officer anyway, so what is it?
What does it matter?
Yeah.
I'm just here for the free replicators.
I think with your sense of humor, Scotty, you'd probably get bounced out pretty quick, would be my
Yeah,
guess.
well.
Just being honest.
I'm going to go hang out on SETI Alpha 5.
Well, you could be a recreation officer or something. I don't know.
Oh, jeez. That could be scary.
I'm going to be that guy in the holodeck episode who gets shot.
Oh, God.
Well, yeah, definitely you'd be a red shirt and not Scotty.
Well, thanks, Jill. That's a vote of confidence. If Scotty R37 lived in the Star Trek universe, he would die quickly. Thank you very much. I'm going to stay on Earth. I'm going to go be a...
Sorry, Scotty.
No, please.
Do the new shows have a diversity and inclusion officer?
That would be me.
Okay.
Yeah.
Because I understand that's a real thing these days.
I think Deanna Troi was the diversity and inclusion officer.
She was the counselor. She was supposed to deal with people when they
Same
had
effing
issues.
thing.
There are other vacuums.
Moving on.
And Dalek says modern writers don't want to write science fiction. They want to write soap operas. Yes,
They probably never
that's a good point.
watched or read any sci-fi anyway, so they know nothing about actual sci-fi. So
Kronos asks a very important sci-fi question. Can you replicate a replicator?
That's a good one.
Yeah.
No. The answer is no. And here's my rationale. Is that there is still construction that happens when it comes to starships. And so engineering and manufacturing still exist. So the complex nature of replicators have to be made by people. That's my
Fair
answer.
enough.
It's interesting
Sounds good.
Hey, look, it's Nomad.
proposition. I think you could. Yeah, it's Nomad. Yeah, thank you. Yes.
This was
Yes,
an
and
Easter egg that tickled my mind and yours as well, Jill.
well, definitely, yes. And I didn't recognize it at first because when you see the changeling, Nomad is not opened up like that throughout the episode. It just floats around. And so the only time you see it this way is when it's in that diagram that you shared to me. Wait, actually, you sent me the diagram. I could
did.
show it.
Yeah. And I
I
was
have to do-
surprised by this because I was like, what is that model?
So
and
was
we've
there
seen
the
we've seen
diagram? The diagram was in the TOS episode, was it, Scotty?
Yes, sir.
Oh, I missed that.
There it is.
Oh, cool. That is Nomad. Wow.
And it tickled my brain, and I was like, what the hell is that? And
I missed that. Totally.
You guys, pardon my, my lack of knowledge, but that's from, oh shit. What's the TNG movie? Movie?
No, it's the original series.
It's the Changeling episode.
Oh,
It's
okay.
called-
But you're probably thinking of the motion picture, which V'ger is like where Nomad has gone before, is what some people call the motion picture, even though I love the motion picture. But
So
you're
do I.
thinking of V'ger, so because that
Have
was
we
the other
reviewed
space
the
probe.
motion picture?
No, we haven't. I want to.
Okay.
That
So
would
do
be really wonderful because I love it and I'd love to defend it.
I can't wait
I love
for
the film. I love the filmmaking of it. It's wonderful to look at.
I'm looking forward to a year from now when we actually review it. And then I'm going to ask you again, and I'm going to be like, Jill, did we review this? And you'll be like, yes. And you were obnoxious and drunk.
Well, you did forget that we reviewed Star Trek V, so that
Yeah,
could happen.
well, it was a dream.
Star Trek 5 is easy to
All right.
forget, though.
Edge of Time. Hello to Edge of Time.
Hail.
Hey, Edge.
Also, aren't there certain materials that can't be replicated? TNG and DS9, if I remember correctly, mentioned this in reference to gold-pressed latinum, says
Well,
Kal-El.
dilithium crystals can't be replicated, can they? Because in many episodes, the dilithium crystals are failing and they go into panic mode, right? On TOS, at least.
Well, but TOS doesn't have a replicator at all. They have a food processor that takes they have shipped stores of food, which they
okay.
put through the processor to make those food cubes.
Does any of the future series after TOS have dilithium crystals replicated, though?
So I think what we get in TOS is more like 3D printers in actuality then.
And based on the Next Generation episode Relics with Scotty.
Oh yeah. Great episode.
They talk about how Scotty walks in and he looks at the dilithium cradle and says, you know, your dilithium crystals are going to fracture. And then Geordi slams the dilithium cradle shut and says, well, yeah, but in the 24th century, the dilithium is recrystallized within the dilithium chamber. And so recrystallization, which is, not available in Star Trek 4, by the time the 24th century occurs, yes, recrystallization is a possibility.
Oh, that's good to know. I forgot about that.
Oh, yeah, that does happen in TNG. Yes, thank you for reminding us of that.
Yeah. I guess I was so caught up in just seeing Scotty on the Enterprise bridge. That's what
Captain Finity says, replicate me a spaceship is utter fantasy. And Kronos says, Jill is drunk? No,
I am.
No, Jill doesn't sound drunk.
Well, you
No,
get to
that's what I was
know.
asking.
She was kind of huffing on gin and tonics before we started, so I don't know.
Gin and tonics. I'd do gin and juice if I
Well,
did that.
you got your mind on your money and your money on your mind.
I like grapefruit juice is all.
Okay.
Scotty can make dilithium, says Cronus.
Well, with appropriate radiation from a 20th century nuclear vessel.
Ice cream and chicken soup. Yes. If you want to order something from a TOS food processor, then yes. Ice cream and chicken soup are a good bet. Coffee also. Can you replicate a triple? Oh, see, I was going to have it next to me and I didn't have it next to me. And
Well,
I have it.
tribbles replicate themselves.
I'll be right back.
And
I
see,
think
the
bigger
thing is,
question- Go ahead.
sorry. No, please,
No, go
after you. You had a
No, no,
bigger
no.
question.
My question was, can replicators replicate Kelly LeBrock? Just wondering.
Of course.
Okay.
As you know, it is science, but it's kind of weird.
Yeah, it's kind of weird. And they did do it in 1985. So.
Yeah,
True.
that's a good
What
one,
is that
guys. It's a treble.
Well, Kronos mentioned it, so I had to bring one on.
Oh, that's right. You have triples. Yeah.
I have tribbles. They're everywhere. My house is full of them.
Kind of. It's a
Oh, no.
trouble.
It's the trouble with dribbles.
Well, no, when you have them around all the time, you just kind of get used to it, and then you just, I don't know. I just push them on the transporter, and they just go around all over the world. Eventually, you'll have one too.
Darn, I don't have a transporter yet. Darn.
So
I'm
they
so
find out-
happy that they find out that this isn't actually Ensign Mayweather.
I love the way that they find out. That's why I'm here, is because this is science fiction. This is really cool because they had inoculated the crew previously to a certain disease. And so they find out that the way that he died would have made those, what is it?
It's a Rigelian fever inoculation, a vaccine.
Yes. And so what it is that the vaccine had millions of genetically altered microbes. And so these microbes would have thrived in the way that Mayweather died. And so they shouldn't be dead. They couldn't have been killed by what killed Mayweather. And so the fact that they're dead tells Phlox that this isn't Mayweather. He knows just from that. And I think that's just the coolest way to find that out.
That was one of my favorite parts of the episode, Jill. Like Phlox, I was like, wow, thumbs up to Phlox. Like, what a great doctor. Like, this guy is very thorough, and I was very impressed with that scene.
Oh.
Well, he's the only one in the end that can explain what the hell was going on the whole time. You know, they're all just kind of lost at the end.
Yeah, exactly. He does come through a lot in this episode. For sure. I think you can find a way to get past them. Captain Infinity is of the opinion that weird science has more plausible science than Star Trek. I don't know if you can
It's
make
the
a
bras
lady
on the head.
computer.
Blinded
Well-
by LeBrock.
Well, I guess the replicator or creation of a lady from weird science is it can actually replicate living tissue. The replicators in Star Trek can't do that.
Yeah, I wouldn't
Hey,
mind replicating Kelly LeBrock. That might be very
Exactly.
entertaining. A lot of fun.
Hey, Jill.
Yes.
I hate that I'm having such a great time. But I knew I could only do 2 hours. I'm really sorry because I don't want to go.
Oh, I should have asked you how far you could go. Let's do a
No,
speed
oh,
run.
no.
We'll go back.
I actually I'm glad I was able to stay on as long as I can. I mean, it's just been a pleasure. I really appreciate the invite. So much fun. I could actually talk about probably the only Star Trek series I'm qualified to talk about. Yes.
Yeah, and you did amazing. I forgot that you had a time limit, or I would have gone faster.
No, that's fine. I don't Don't structure anything around me. I
was
pretty much.
going to if I had remembered.
I had a great time. I pretty much said everything. I mean, my kind of closing thought. I mean, I've already said I love this episode. I love all 4 seasons of the show, but I love the ending, the final shot, where it's just putting itself back together. It's great, you know.
Mhm.
It's wonderful how that it's like, okay, so that thing's gonna live to abduct another day, and
There it
I
is.
love that. Yeah, but yeah, only reason I have to go is because we have a video dropping in like 5 minutes, and please don't go see it until you're done with Jill's show, everybody. But if you want to go over to check it out later, it's just posting. It's not a live thing, so it'll be there.
Oh, it's not
Watch
a premiere?
No, it's just it's short. It's only 15 minutes.
Okay.
But it's the we're doing our Halloween stuff. It's the Universal Monster
Someone went
Chug
crackly.
Show.
Is that you? Yeah, that was PvP. Okay.
So yeah,
No,
check it out
not
after you watch all of Jill.
It shouldn't be. I didn't change anything on my mic.
Okay.
I hope it's not my mic. I mean, I've had, I probably need to get a new one of these days, but I haven't heard crackling.
Okay.
before.
Okay, I was just checking. But yes, definitely. At the end of the show, or at the end of my show, I'll get the link to that and I'll put it in the chat for you so people can check it out.
Yeah, if you guys like the Universal Monster movies of the 30s, we chug beers, and we have 2 to 3 minutes to describe the entire movies. So it's a good time. It's a hoot.
It is. You know what? It's actually really great timing because you're roboting really bad now.
Me?
Mhm.
Yep.
You mean my voice?
My voice sounds weird.
It does. It sounds like Dalek came back.
It's very, very, very crackly too.
Your inquiry was not recognized.
Well, then I guess I will say my goodbyes.
Love all you guys. Love you, Jill. Thank you so much.
Such a pleasure.
Yes,
Yeah.
thank you. Thank you, Cinema.
You guys are awesome.
Nice chatting with you,
You're awesome
Cinema.
too. It was really
Nice
great.
chatting with you too. Ray. Awesome. Scotty, as always.
I love your body, Larry.
Body, Larry. All right, guys. Continue on.
Thank you. Wow, I wonder what happened there.
I don't know.
That's
You got
crazy.
struck
I
by
don't know.
lightning.
It suddenly really changed. Like he sounded great through the whole stream until the
He
last
did.
minute or so. Yeah.
Well, and
Yeah, that was
also
weird.
don't forget to subscribe to Cinema Gulp. He's done a lot of great content, and I've had the pleasure of being on his shows a couple of times. So is Captain Infinity, and it's amazing, and he does great work.
Is there a link to his channel in the chat?
Yeah.
You know what? I should probably
And
do
it's
that.
on
I'll
the
do that.
screen. But why can't you guys see it? It's right there. I did it.
Oh, it's right there.
Oh, is it? Let me see.
That's why I thought you
It's-
were promoting it.
Oh,
'cause you
okay, I
saw
see
that
it
I
now.
posted the link.
I usually
I-
don't.
I can't read.
Oh, I'm already subbed anyway, so no worries there.
Great.
Canadian Spider-Man says every man has worn a bra on his head. Is this true? Well, I only have 2 men who are still on the panel because Bird is away. Is this
No,
true?
I've never worn a bra on my head.
No,
Okay.
me neither.
Like I've motorboated. Does that
Must
count?
be
I
an
know it's
urban
they're
legend or something.
they're doing some references to weird science. 'cause
They
he's-
are, and I can't wait to
Captain
watch it
Finley's
again. I am
He's
enjoying it as
enjoying
well.
that movie.
If I had a lady friend that would let me wear her bra on my head, though, I might give it a try. So
You can go to
And-
the store and
oh!
just buy a bra.
I'm
Captain
open-minded. No,
Infinity-
but that wouldn't be fun.
Wants to know when we're doing Return of the King with Cinema Gulp. That's going to be in mid-November.
Yeah.
I think the date's still being hammered out.
Lord of the Rings.
Um,
Yeah.
and
Yes, Lord of
just
the
checking out the private chat. Apparently, Bird of Prey 5 has to take his leave.
Oh,
can't
yeah,
get
that
back
makes
to
sense.
a mic, but always a pleasure to
Oh.
talk to Bird of Prey 5.
Bye, Bird. That was a quick
If you
course.
want to, he does Bed Life twice a week, and he does Enterprise rewatches once a week. And
Well, the
so,
coolest
yeah,
thing
no,
is he's doing Bed Life today. He'll be doing it in about an
In
hour.
like an hour. Yeah.
Yeah, an hour from now. So I'm gonna
So
get
that's amazing.
his link. We can find out how to check him out when the stream is over.
But there was a time when someone said the only person I trust about Star Trek on the internet is Bird of Prey 5. And I was like, I'm right here, and I'm a Star Trek expert. And the more I listen to Bird of Prey 5, the more I'm like, yeah, no, he's really qualified. Like I don't know. Is he better than me? Probably.
Yes, he's better than me. So yeah.
Oh,
He's better than you? You're crazy.
You guys are all better than me. Like, I'm a big fan of Star Trek, but you guys are like scholarly. And you have an in-depth knowledge that amazes me at times, and that's why I like to hang out, because I learn so much when I'm listening to you guys talk about Trek, right? So,
Well,
but
and you know what? I
I'm just a
appreciate.
novice compared to you guys.
I appreciate
Well,
that, but it
I
hasn't
love this one.
reflected in my LinkedIn profile.
No, I
No
know
one
it's not going to
wants
help
to
you get a
hire me.
job.
I
It's
know,
not.
right? I've
But you know
I've
what
been
is?
sending messages to Terry Metalis for weeks.
I love this part because you know how we said earlier this computer is a bit like customer service. Well, Trip
We
is going
got
to be a bit like a Karen who is calling customer service.
we got a slide for this, or
Oh yeah, we got to
I've
go back
looked
to
at the
the
bolt
slide.
couplings you attach to the new hull plating. They don't stack up to
there's no
Starfleet specifications.
there's no
I'm
slide,
sure.
Jill.
Oh, there's no slides.
Yeah,
Yeah,
I just wanted to
there it is.
mention that. And now
That's a good point.
I'm
There you
huge
go.
on there we go. Thank you, Jill.
You're welcome.
Oh boy.
Mm.
That warp plasma must be very valuable stuff, right? For all the work that the station did.
It must be
Yeah.
valuable to the station, yeah.
But
Yeah,
it's
it must
not
be
it's not
very.
as it's replaceable though. So it's not like the other things that we didn't mention earlier. The other things that they could have traded, but they were
It was
more
like 5 warp coils,
I think it was 3,
which
but you know.
was it 3? I thought it was 5. There was something else.
3 warp
Turtle.
Yeah,
coils,
2
5
turtle doves and a partridge.
partridge.
not yet. It's not Thanksgiving
We're
for
getting there close,
Americans
though.
yet.
Just think, I'll be putting my Christmas tree up in
You
less than 2
Canadians
months.
get too excited about Christmas too
I love
early.
Christmas. I'm sorry, I love Christmas.
I just like Mariah Carey. That's my problem.
It's like, hey, I know Santa, so that's
Just
probably
because
one
you
reason.
have your Thanksgiving so early.
Well, the thing is, you guys are eating turkey 4 weeks apart, and I kind of like to space it out by a couple of months because I can only eat so much turkey, in such a short time.
Okay, so it was 3 warp coils, 5 deuterium injectors.
Yeah.
That would actually make a great Christmas Star Trek song, actually, come to think of it.
It would.
Simply having a wonderful Deep Space Nine.
9. Okay.
So much for my saliva flavored toothpaste idea. Say next
Ugh.
time. Ew, what are you
Yuck.
talking about?
Oh,
The
gross.
hell. Now I want to make out with my pharmacist.
I just randomly picked a chat and I don't know about what my choices.
Oh, that's a great one.
Okay, can I do this one? Because
Sure.
Herc 130 is hilarious. I cut
great.
down trees. I eat my lunch. I hang around in bars.
It's a great
it's a
Monty
lumberjack.
Python.
Yeah.
Lumberjack song, yeah. And it takes place in the
Mhm.
mighty forests of British Columbia, Scotty.
The mighty Scotch pine.
Anyone still have a tree up? Yes, my mother-in-law.
Well, and you should check
your
out Jill's
mother-in-law?
channel. You should check out
Has-
Jill's channel where I do have a theory about Christmas trees and romance.
It's a very lovely theory. I like it.
It is. It is. It's how I met my last wife.
And Canadian Spider-Man says, I agree 100% with PvP. You guys are scholars. My friends think I'm a Star Trek expert, but that's only because they don't know you, Scotty and Jill. Aw, thank you.
That is lovely.
And that includes Pop Culture Curator, who
Nice thought,
is
buddy.
busy today. Yeah.
Oh, certainly. But being a Star Trek expert, a scholar, if you will, is part of the reason why I don't get invited to parties. He just wants to talk about cloaking devices again.
Well, see, your key there is to find friends who tolerate you talking about Star Trek, not necessarily that they love Star Trek, and you'll be okay.
Well, I mean, I don't think I could hang out with people that hated Star Trek. I mean, it's just
Right.
not going to happen, right?
They have to accept your love.
That's right. They got to at least, be tolerant of of the shows you love.
I appreciate people who enjoy infinite diversity in infinite combinations.
There you go.
I want to know how someone files a grievance around here. Yes.
Yeah.
I should have clipped that. That's fun.
Yes. That's better than the customer is always right, which is a misnomer.
Customer's always right.
I knew you would have a problem with that. That's why I clipped that one in
And
particular.
the customers
Just to make me
sometimes
mad?
wrong.
Yes.
Can I tell everyone a brief story about my first customer service job, or my first bartending job? May I?
Sure.
I don't have a problem.
The manager at the time, the bartending manager said, "Have you ever heard the phrase, the customer is always right?" And we were all like, "Oh, yes," because we were green as gills. And we were like, "Oh, yeah, no, the customer is always right." And the bartending manager said, "Well, F all that noise, because have you ever tried to cut someone off? And that's a customer. And so if you have to cut off a customer, that customer is incorrect. So never in your life should you ever think the correct customer is always right. You are the ultimate authority of customer service. So if someone says the customer is always right, tell them they're a damn fool." And I have adhered to that since that day. It's bitten me in the bum a couple times, but when it comes down to it, if you are a customer, no, sorry, doesn't mean that you're automatically correct. You have to
I
make
think
a
it's
case.
funny that whenever they ask for the manager, it's like everybody is the manager. That's the one that's funny to me.
I'm a manager. I'm not even employed, and I'm a manager.
I know. And you don't even work
I manage. I don't work here. Jill, you don't even pay me. But I'm a supervisor.
Yeah. Hold on. Let's see. Where
Anyway,
is that?
I don't mean to exert.
It's a goddamn weird ass place we work in. Let me tell you.
Exactly. Are you
man.
having a beer? It's 9 in the morning.
No, I'm laughing at that funny video clip.
Well, that was another Orville quote from the very first episode where Ed meets Malloy. Yeah. And then he makes fun of, like, Malloy's just like, "Oh yeah, you think I'm drunk, so I'm gonna start driving crazy." And so he starts flying the shuttlecraft kind of crazy. But he doesn't crash.
Scratch the paint, though. He doesn't scratch the paint.
So what happened to the Orville anyway? Is this still going, or is it done? I've lost track.
We don't know.
The internet is where weirdos go to find other weirdos with similar interests. Isn't that
agreed?
Right?
Thank you,
Says
Jim.
James Caserta.
Sounds true to me. Yeah.
That's how we met people.
Is Orville like? Is it like in stasis or something, or like?
Anticipation. There's always hope that it's coming back. We don't know. Like there are so, like, I brought it up before, but we just got a Frasier reboot. If there is interest, and there is with the Orville, there is going to be some sort of revival, and we can only hope that it's of the same quality with the same people. And luckily,
but hopefully this time we'll get to more exploring.
But luckily we have the same cast members who are enthusiastic about it, and they are very supportive of the fan base, including Seth MacFarlane. It's not something that is just being left to sort of dry in the sun. Like, it is a possibility. And so, don't stop believing, kind of thing. I hate to be Pollyanna about the situation, but yeah, I think that we will get more Orville in some way
we'll
or
see if
another.
Orville is renewed. It would be nice
Yeah.
if Disney decides they don't want to have Hulu and Fox anymore, and somebody else picks it up, and we don't have to worry about that kind of influence over there that Disney has, and Seth will be able to do what he wants. And we might get more exploring and less drama and get more of a balance of more science fiction stuff, which would be lots of fun.
So I heard
Like, if
season
you-
3 was kind of up and down, right? It was kind of
Yeah,
mixed bag.
I liked it, but
I
it
haven't
wasn't as
seen it yet,
good
but
as
my
season 1 and
favorite
2.
is season 2. I love season 2. I thought season
Yeah.
2 was fantastic.
Me too.
Well, if you look back on,
You like music?
Huh?
I was just asking if you like music.
I do, Dan. Yeah, I like music.
I like it too. And food.
Scene. Dan's not being creepy at all there, is he?
well, he's trying to make friends, but
I
like
know,
if you look back on other television productions, like you look at Firefly and how Firefly was canceled, and then through sort of
Don't talk
fan
about
outcry,
Firefly.
and then Serenity was made, and Serenity was like the series finale that
yeah.
you know, you may
That
not
was
have
all-
wanted, but it was there.
All because of the fans screaming loud and clear for like a couple of years to get the damn movie made, right?
Exactly.
It was just like
well, we'll see if it happens. But I want to read this. So the idea of replicating complex machinery is out there fantasy and not remotely science fiction. Well, it's not
kind of like time travel. Kind of like how time travel is fantasy.
Yeah, it is fantasy, but the thing is that it does inspire us to do new things like 3D printing, things that are actually within our control. And so it even when science fiction is not currently possible, it can inspire us to do new things that we haven't thought of before, which is why I love it so much.
Well, just look back 100 years ago. I mean, how many things that we have now would people 100 years ago not even have been able to conceive of in their minds, right?
Mm-hmm.
So, I mean, I could see us one day having things like transporters or replicators, but I'll be long gone by then. But
Captain Infinity prefers. Okay, you got to be trolling. You prefer Kletzman to the Orville. Okay.
Wow.
Have you seen how much of the Orville have you seen, Captain Infinity? John Malama says Serenity was a great movie. Oh yeah, and of course Firefly was great. But I also really love that T'Pol uses her Vulcan tricorder, and then I know it's something they always do, but I just love the different tricorders.
Here we go.
Oh yeah, so they know that if they try to crawl through, they're gonna get teleported away. So they use their phaser and blast it.
Good old phasers.
Right. Well, the phasers are very helpful in this situation where they have to get around the AI, the artificial intelligence, which is trying to track wherever it predicts that a humanoid can get through. And then T'Pol is trying to cross circuit something here, but then she's like, I can't do it. She gives up. And guess what comes to the rescue again is the phaser. So she just blasts it too. Oh, and hey, Daniel's here. Hello, Daniel's Hot Topics.
Hi, Daniel.
Yeah, pew pew. There she is. She's pew pewing right now. Watch that. In the next one, there she is. There she goes. And then we'll see what she's actually hitting. Just hitting the door there, and that works. It works. T'Pol fails, so she uses her phaser. She's learned from humanity. If the science doesn't work,
she's learned that human aggression does have its useful moments.
It does, and especially here. I'm not reading that one, Spidey.
This is where we get the Borg analogy in my mind in this scene.
Oh yeah, this is the creepy part.
Oh, very.
Scotty stepped away from like the
Oh,
best
crap.
part.
He's probably having a smoke or something.
Yeah, I guess so. I don't know what happened. He just said, "I'm stepping away." He got excited about something and stepped away.
Hmm.
And where he went.
But
Scotty, are
it's
you there?
he's still muted.
Yeah, I really hope so. As well as if we can go back in time, I would go back to October 20th, 2022. Wait, why? Why are you going back to October 20th, 2022? Um, but you can't anyway, because time travel to the past is impossible.
Yeah, I think
And
I'd go back to the 70s and be in my teenage years again if I had the same knowledge I have now. I could do
yeah,
a
that
lot
that
more
would
with
be
my
the
life.
difficulties there. But you'd be going back to a different reality. So hopefully that reality is better than this one.
Well, it'd be interesting.
Let's not go down that road. Well,
Oh, did Pop say he's doing rumblings tomorrow night? I hope he's
I
feeling
don't
good,
know.
good, and
Yeah,
we'll
pop
do it.
culture curator, are you streaming later? I don't know. I mean, we could do show
I think
notes.
he's doing tomorrow night at 7. I think it usually is, Joe.
Yeah. Oh, can you hold on just a second, PvP? Can you talk for a moment for me?
I can try. I don't know what I'm going to talk about because I'll be talking to myself because Scotty's not here, but I'll give it a go. Is there anything you want me to talk about, Joe? Oh, Joe's gone. Well, hello, chat. I'm all here alone, apparently. Um, so let's see. What do we got in the chat room here? Let's see. I'm just going to read some of the chat out because I don't know what to talk about since I'm all by my lonesome. Okay, I'm just trying to look for the recent ones. Okay, Colonel says I can't drive 88. Scotty died.
No, Scotty didn't die. I'm sure he's fine.
Yeah.
I was just looking for him. I didn't find him, but
Oh, thank you.
I'm sure he'll be back.
Thank goodness you're back because I didn't know what the
Well,
hell to
it'll be
talk
a lot
about.
easier when he gets his phone. It's the fact that I can't call him. I don't know where he went. But anyway, I guess we can get through this really cool part of the episode. This is the spooky part. This is the only really spooky part is the way that the computer it enhances it's got its own processing power, but it uses species that it comes across to enhance its processing power, possibly to also increase its knowledge. Obviously, it increases its database with absolutely everything that's on your ship. So when it
Well, that
fixes your ship, it also takes all of your things, everything you
well,
know,
yeah,
it
it's
now
got
knows.
a huge accumulation of knowledge from many, many species. Obviously, you know.
Yes, exactly, and that's why somebody mentioned at the beginning that it reminded them of like a precursor to the Borg, and I agree with that completely because
That was me.
that was you, and that was someone
Yes.
also somebody in the chat too. Someone
Uh,
someone in the chat also said it, but oh, that was a good shot right there. I wish
that's
Ben were
very.
here for that. I think he would have really appreciated this one.
That looks like a Borg ship, really.
Scott, Anonymous, Scotty is giving her all she's got. No. Yeah, Scotty's lost, Kronos. He
Uh
didn't
oh.
he didn't die. But that's kind of joke he would make.
Maybe some attractive woman showed up at Scotty's doorstep or something.
I need your boat, your clothes, and your motorcycle.
Oh, I love that line. Arnold at his best.
There you go. And pop culture curator confirms that yes, he is doing a rumblings tomorrow night. If you
Awesome.
want a place to hang out and just have a random chat about pop culture,
That's all.
there's your place.
Yeah, Pop's rumblings are always great on a Saturday night.
Mhm.
Otherwise, Saturday nights could be really boring.
Okay, so then the computer says, vacate this section or your vessel will be compromised. So, this is the part where we did have a problem with this technicality before. If it is capable of kidnapping Mayweather, how come it's not capable of kidnapping Archer and T'Pol? Is it
Why didn't it
because they're
just?
not passed out? Does the computer have to
Well,
subdue its victim before it can
well,
kidnap it?
why didn't the computer just transport them back to the bridge of the Enterprise?
That's another great question because it does that with the in the corridor. So why can't it
Exactly.
do it from this room?
Yeah, that was another nitpicking flaw I found in the episode.
Oh, absolutely. And they
But
find that
yeah,
all of these people that they're using as processing power, they've suffered neurological damage to the point where they can't be saved. Which of course is convenient because if they could be saved, then they'd be saving everybody on the station. But apparently their brains are so far gone that disconnecting them, they'd be dead anyway.
mm,
So that's why that doesn't happen. And well, the station doesn't like it. Even though it doesn't do anything transporter wise, it does grapple onto their mechanical arm. So that's where they have to do a bit of phasers and they have to use a torpedo to get the arm off.
yeah, I liked the ending when they had to fire a couple of torpedoes to finally break free. That was pretty cool.
Yeah, it is pretty cool. Hold on just a moment. Could you read this from Daniel's Hot Topics, please?
Okay. I was talking to Mikey, and we were talking about the Hydrogen Collider, and we were talking about how they could use particle when they split them, smash them together. They could open a hole to the past. Hmm. Okay. Never thought of that, but interesting idea. I'm not sure what type of torpedoes they were, Kronos, but they were effective, so that's the main thing, I guess.
Well, they're the type that Enterprise has.
They worked. That's the main
The
thing.
NX-01. So the main idea, if you want to find out what type of torpedoes they have, is to get. Is there a technical manual for the NX-01? Does somebody know?
Hmm. Jeez. Yeah, I don't. I have no
There
idea,
should
actually.
be. There's a technical manual for all the ships, aren't there? No, maybe not all of them.
You'd think there might be. Yeah.
It it is difficult to find Enterprise books.
Oh shit. Oh well.
Oh, right, and yeah. So they do rig the plasma to explode to destroy the station, but but they do it just as also they're trying to break free from the station, which is quite dangerous, but they do make it. Pew pew, says Kronos. Yes, pew pew indeed. Those torpedoes could change direction. Yeah, right. So it was really dangerous. It's like if you had a I don't know, like if you're stuck inside of a cage and you're shooting and you're firing at the lock to get out. So the ricochet could be dangerous. And so yeah, just the same way, I think. Right? And so Daniel's Hot Topic says little gray men. I see them walking around.
Oh.
Oh, there's a torpedo. I took really great shots of this torpedo, didn't
I
I?
really like the effects in this episode. I thought they were very good.
Well, that's why that it almost won an award. What award was that again? Was it an Emmy?
An Emmy, I think you said,
Mhm.
Jill.
I did. I said an Emmy, and yeah, for outstanding special visual effects for a series in 2003. The nominees were Robert Bonch, Arthur Kodron, Pierre Drotlet, Steve Fogg, Koji Kuromi, Sean Scott, John Teska, George Raynoff, and Mitch Suskin.
Wow, that's a lot of
And
guys.
yeah, well, that's a lot of work that went into this episode, and I think it is a really well-made, beautiful-looking, creepy computer episode, and I love creepy computer episodes, and so that's why I picked this one to watch.
Yeah, for
And I hope you guys
2003.
enjoyed looking at
2003
the
CGI, it's very
screenshots for
impressive
this.
for its day.
Yeah, And I agree completely, and that's
You know,
probably why it won.
I just got one thing about that last shot you had there with the
Mhm.
station blowing
Oh,
apart.
for sure.
Would not of all the people, brain damaged, would they not have all perished in that explosion?
Yes, I think so. I
Yeah.
believe. But I think that the computer can go on its own. It's not that it absolutely has to have now I'm just theorizing because I don't know exactly what's going on. I wish they would have
Mm.
given us a that's my other issue with this episode is that they don't give us a hint as to why they were collecting people and using them for processing power because it's pretty clear that the computer itself can process by itself. It doesn't
Well,
need them, but it enhances it.
it obviously replicates itself at the end of the episode, right?
Yes, exactly.
Without the
Mhm,
brains. So
that's the only clue that we get that it's fine.
yeah. Another question I have is, what was the alien race that built this thing? Like that's another thing that's completely ignored in the episode. I think, right?
No,
Yeah.
it's not ignored. It's not oh, thank goodness you're here. You missed all
Ah,
the
you're
really
back.
cool scenes.
I started a fight with Captain Finity and then I had to leave.
Yeah, but you missed all of the best part of the episode,
Yeah.
Oh no.
and I was upset.
Way to go, Scotty.
Yes. Way to
I
go.
have failed you
You have.
again.
Well, no, but I was wondering what you thought about the end of the episode of the people getting used as processing power when it's evident that the computer can function without the processing power of all these people. So,
Well, like when in Enterprise, when do they encounter uh the Borg?
that is a good
It,
question.
I
When
think
do the
it's
Borg
later.
show up? It is
I think
later.
it's
It's not
I
now.
yeah,
Mm.
and this is one of those things. This is one of those sort of teases for something that could develop into something. It's almost like the end of Conspiracy when Commander Remick in Next Generation season 1, and they send like the bugs go into people's faces, and they send out the message saying this is something that's going to happen in the future, and it never comes to anything. And
Right,
that
right. We don't have to worry about those bugs ever again because the idea of those bugs became the Borg. That story idea got shifted away from that particular species into the Borgs when Q throws them out into space, deeper space.
yes. And so it is this is something, and I think it was addressed in a Star Trek novel, so beta canon, but and an original series like a Kirk Spock McCoy novel as to it was written after this episode. And yeah, I think it's an interesting hanging participle. You don't know what happens with it. It piques your interest, but it's more of a
It's a
question.
curiosity.
It's a curiosity. Yeah.
Yes.
And so I
And very much and Conspiracy was a good parallel because we never see this space station again. Um presumably I suppose Archer had to have put it in the report. Oh no. Oh, that's just a warning. That means I have 20 minutes before I gotta go.
It's a 20-minute
okay.
warning.
Oh yeah, and Anonymous is more people faster than a computer.
Yes. Well, and as
And from
T'Pol says in right here.
cute. What's cute? What does Paul say? Here. Oh yeah,
Says
this is
that
the important part.
that the cerebral cortex is the most or the most efficient, the most powerful computer,
The most
sophisticated.
sophisticated computer known to exist.
And so I do appreciate that as the abductions of sentient races. And also, like one of those when you're scanning, when you're going through the abducted aliens are like you see a Suliban, several Klingons, a Romulan, not a Kling or not a Vulcan, but a Romulan, which T'Pol passes over because she basically just says, okay, that looks like a Romulan or it looks like a Vulcan. And I think I saw a Cardassian. Like there are aliens here that are not discovered by I don't want to say Starfleet because Starfleet doesn't exist really. Neither does
The
the Federation.
Federation?
Not
No, the
discovered.
Federation exists.
No, the Federation does not exist. The Federation doesn't exist until the end of the series.
Well,
Oh, you're right. Starfleet does exist. Starfleet exists.
Okay. And so it's
One of them
like
exists.
these are aliens, and this is like production value of all of the alien prosthetics that we've seen before, and like on future Star Treks. So there are aliens that thusly Archer and the 22nd century Starfleet haven't encountered, but they are there. This is like an alien Easter egg hunt.
I have a quick question. Should
Yes.
not have Archer and T'Pol and, should they have not done a quick tricorder scan of these alien species just to record them?
Well, they were kind of. What do you think?
I know
In a
they were
hurry?
under duress.
They're in a
and
hurry. Yeah, that's what I was thinking. They're in
but
danger.
Still, could they not have done a quick scan on at least some of the
They
aliens
they
they never
already
saw?
they already knew that they were going to blow this entire place up.
And
I just thought they
PvP.
might have gained knowledge of other races. Is all I'm saying.
If they had time,
And
that does make sense. They would do something like that for sure.
I think that is something that they sort of had cursory, but also like what kind of level of sophistication do you think that 22nd century tricorders had?
Well, I would think they could have recorded some basic, maybe biological information about the sleepers, in the room.
Well, but if you never encountered a Cardassian before and you found a Cardassian, you would be like, basically, you don't even know what their name is. They're dead or they're just in stasis.
No, I just thinking they could have taken some biological readings because obviously they're brain dead at this point, Scotty. I get your point.
Right. No, but I agree with you. But like, without a frame of reference, it's like that's an alien, that's an alien, that's a
just saying-
Vulcan, and
I'm just
even
saying-
looking at it, and that's actually a Romulan. But the similarities between a Romulan and a Vulcan are nearly identical.
True.
And so, as you move forward, you're just like, okay, I don't know what this is, but it is an alien, and we will categorize it in the same way. It's like this is species 8472.
I'm just saying, put it in the data banks, categorize, at least biologically, appearance wise, that these are different species, and just have a basic early knowledge that these creatures exist. Is basically what I'm saying, Scotty.
And I think they did. I think there was a cross reference. Like these scans would have been brought to Phlox, who has a wider sort of knowledge of other alien species. So
I think Phlox would put him in his database and just maybe ponder on it a little bit once in a while when he had the time.
For sure.
But that's one thing I love about this episode. There's so many little bits and pieces, little details all through the episode. In spite of the bigger story of this, station.
It has a ton of potential, I think is what you're trying to say. It has so much potential.
That's why I love it so much. It's such thoroughly detailed and great episode.
Well, you would think someone would come back and check this out. Like, hey, they have some amazing technology at this, even though they blew it up. Like, they're going to come back. Yeah. And yes, this little hand here, is repairing. It's starting the repair process.
It's too bad they didn't do a sequel episode of this in season 3 or 4. That could have been a lot of fun.
Well, and that was that like as soon as I finished the episode, I sent a message to Jill and I was like, "Who built the station?" And she's like, "I have no idea."
I didn't. I had no idea.
I still don't. And neither of us, none of us do.
There's no clue.
Yeah, it's frustrating that they didn't follow this up, in a future episode.
Does anyone in the chat have any ideas of who might have built the station?
I might have an idea.
You might.
B'Elanna Torres went back in time.
Oh.
What is it? Time travel's all about the time, but most people just calling it blacking out. Well,
Oh,
we
yeah,
don't
Cam.
have the time. Don't tell me about time.
We
Yeah, I
don't
think
have the time to talk about the time.
I time traveled earlier this week, and I'm quite embarrassed about it, actually.
To infinity and beyond.
And Mr. Miles. Oh, hey, Mr. Miles. He says that was a fun episode. Wish I could have joined at the start of the stream. Well,
Oh.
yes, and that would be really great if you could watch it on the replay. Just some
Check it out
DNA
on the
scan
replay.
and photo reference. Yeah, no, PvP's right. They could have scanned some of the technology, at least from the ship. Like,
But
hey,
also,
there's
don't forget to
some light
like,
down here.
subscribe, share
Check it out.
this with your friends.
Anonymous.
If you enjoy chaotic.
Yeah, and Anonymous says Santa Claus built it.
Uh-oh.
And
Santa Claus. Sinterklaas.
yeah.
I'm just saying words now.
You are.
Cinder
And
Claus?
words are what we need at this point.
Hooray.
Because let's see. I have something here.
Hey, did you guys see that Santa Claus film the gorilla posted last Christmas? It was really
No.
good, actually.
No, I
Is
didn't.
it the one? Is it the one with Dudley Moore?
No, it's the one where Santa Claus basically has to kick ass. Because the family's home gets invaded by bad guys, and Santa has to like try and save them. It was pretty awesome, actually. I thought it'd be garbage, but when I watched it with Gorilla, I had a good time. It was a lot of fun.
Captain Infinity says I'd love to get some time. What do you mean by that?
Well, he can go back and get more, I suppose.
I wish I had more time. Like I wouldn't mind like a 40-hour day or something, but we're not going to get that.
So anyway, before we get off into tangents, even though this episode ends with the station looking as though it's repairing itself, we never figure out who they are, why they were collecting people for processing power. And I believe one possibility is that it's a race of beings who actually do want to help, but they're so advanced. This is just my guess. It's a complete guess. They're so advanced that they think anyone needing help from them are so inferior that they are the kind of species that they feel justified in collecting, like lab rats for their own experimentation. It may be that they don't just want them for processing power, but maybe this is their way of studying new life and civilizations. But I love what everybody said about the Borg. This is what I came up with, is that they're collecting rats to see how they run.
I think that's a really good comment, actually, Jill. I agree with what you said there, 100%. Like, I think that's why the AI is so impersonal and clinical and cold when it interacts verbally with the crew, right? Because the species is so, as you say, high above us. We're like lab rats or whatever, so they don't have a need to program the computer to be personable and chatty and friendly. They just say, let's just do business. Just submit your compensation, and that's basically cut and dried, right?
Yeah, and that's the red herring that they trick you into thinking, oh, we this is what we want, but what they really want is one of you.
Yeah, it's like going and enjoy our leisure center, and oh, by the way, we're going to kidnap one of your crew members and make them brain dead, but don't worry about that.
Mr. Miles says there's a book that goes into who built this station. Lives of the Federation. Uncertain Logic. Wow.
Yes, sir.
We need to get that.
Yes, Mr. Miles.
You knew about that?
Well, and I was saying that there was a novel that came about after this
When did
this
you
episode.
say that?
A little while ago. We can, check it out on the rerun. Don't forget
I
to like and
believe you.
subscribe.
I believe you, but I missed it.
Gosh,
no, but thank you,
that's
Mr.
very
Miles, for
cool.
bringing it up again. That's confirmation, or at least,
Well,
cross-referencing.
Yeah, an acknowledgement, because I didn't even hear it the first time. I'm so
That's
sorry.
great. Wow.
Kronos says, "Yay, Futurama!" What?
Yay! Well, there's never any reason why not to say yay to Futurama. It was the Binars, and Mr. Miles says, I don't actually know.
The Binars! Would the Binars do this? Yeah, you know what? Maybe. That's a good idea. Well,
And
you
also, I
didn't
hate
see
to be
me do 'em.
pedantic, but I am. But Binars is spelled with a Y. Why? Because they have to.
Well, the thing, but none of the processes required two people to control it. But maybe they adapted it to Earth, processing, computer processing. So that explains that. Live
Oh
stream
yeah,
and short
Chronos.
about replicators are both already up. Hooray! Well, I'm so happy that you like to talk about Star Trek. Chronos says a personal computer.
Yes,
No way.
indeed.
And Kal-El has a question. The station is incredibly self-sufficient and there seems to be no limit to what it can replicate. So why does it ask for compensation?
What do you got, Jill?
Exactly. And it's because it doesn't care about what you call the compensation. It just wants to kidnap somebody.
I think it needs fuel and it doesn't venture anywhere. Remember the Cytherians? And they just drew people to their like part of the galaxy or to a different galaxy, wherever the Cytherians were. I think that this is the same situation. We'll fix you if you add to us.
Yes.
Well, I think they want to make it a transaction too, right? So the people coming to the station for repairs don't get suspicious. Because let's face
Right.
it, if you're totally altruistic and you go, "Oh, we'll like spend hours and hours and hours fixing your damaged starship," and at absolutely no cost, it's totally free, and we're all nice and happy and friendly. It's like people, Archer would go like, "What the f?" He'd be like,
Yes,
Well, and
you're
that's what
right.
happens.
"It'd be too good to be true, though."
That is what
Basically,
happens, but it would be even more suspicious if it were free. Captain
exactly.
Infinity says differentiating between possible and impossible technology is clearly a thing, and it's a very fun thing to do.
Mm-hmm.
I enjoy that.
I
It's fun.
agree. I agree. I'm sorry for yelling.
You're fine. I
Thanks.
just wish you didn't run away.
Well, I was gonna get more yelly, so I wanted to step away and have some
Oh.
inhalants.
Oh, okay.
Ah, okay.
That makes sense.
Sometimes, I can interrupt and be a jerk. And so I thought I would allow the floor.
Oh, I've been at that club too, too many times, Scotty. So no big deal.
Nah, you're cool. I bust your chops, but you're
Oh,
good shit.
sometimes I can be a real jackass when I imbibe a
I
little too
usually
much.
am. It's part of my fun. I enjoy it.
I try not to do it though. I'm trying
I
to do it less and
do.
less.
I revel.
Ah,
Anyway,
good
so this is
episode, though.
fantastic. This is so good. I'm so glad that we. I like
I'm
that.
very, very
Quote
glad that
unquote. Sometimes.
I'm
Yeah.
very
No, I
glad
know.
Joe picked this one because I think I missed this is one I missed in season 2, and I was just watching it yesterday and I was like, this is amazing. Like this is such a great episode. So
It
I want
was
to say
wonderful.
big thanks, Jill, for suggesting this. I really appreciate you introducing me to this wonderful episode.
Well, I know that Scotty likes Balana, so I knew it had to be good.
Okay.
Thank you.
And she helped a lot with this episode.
She's a great
She did.
director. Like, man, does she direct other stuff? Actually, come to think of it, like other than
This is
this one.
actually her third. This is her third episode
Oh.
of
Let's see what
Enterprise that she directed.
Yeah, I'd like to know what other stuff she did because I'll probably take a look at those too because she really had
She's
a solid
after
command of this episode.
after Voyager, she became quite a successful television director.
Oh,
Oh,
really?
wow. Yeah, she has 59 credits.
Holy moly, that's awesome! I never
Lots of different shows.
realized. So she found her mark more as a director than an actress eventually. Then that's interesting.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, yeah. Okay, so she directed 2 Voyager episodes. It's season 6 Riddles and 7 Workforce Part 2, and then Enterprise 10 episodes.
Oh my stars!
Oh man!
Yeah.
Hey
Yeah,
Jill,
so
just a random thought, but maybe we should check out some of those other episodes of Enterprise that she
well,
directed
sure.
eventually.
And Canadian Spider-Man says in Mexico there are repair crews in green coveralls who patrol the roads looking for tourist breakdowns. broken
What?
down. They do repair and boost for free.
So how do they earn a
Unfortunately,
living?
they also abduct people who are in your car, and they use your cerebral cortex to power their
Yeah, I was
calculators.
just gonna say, how do they actually, make a living then if they do everything for free? Like, it sounds idealistic to say the least.
Interesting. Classic Comics says the Vulcans actually incorporate some features of the Mentats and Benny Gesserit. Oh, really?
Benny Gesserit? Isn't that a
Uh,
Dune thing? I
yeah,
thought
that's a Dune
Mentats
thing.
were from Fallout, and Benny Gesserit was from Dune. So the genres, they cross. I feel like I'm Spangler over here.
Mr. Miles agrees. She's a good director. Don't sub to DJ, says Kronos. And by DJ, he means DJ Odyssey. I like DJ Odyssey. That's why I have him in my list.
Yeah, I like
So,
Deej.
yeah, he's fun.
Is Deej the guy in the bunny suit?
He is the guy in the
He
bunny suit.
is.
Okay,
We
I
are at
think I
that
sub
part
I,
of the live stream.
I probably subbed
What do
him
you
like
mean? It's a
6 months
suit?
ago.
You thought he was
Have
a
you never
giant bunny
have
man?
you never seen Christmas Story, Scotty?
Well, I haven't seen Donnie Darko. That's my problem.
No, Christmas Story. There's the bunny suit, which is the infamous bunny suit.
Yes.
I
True.
love that. I love that movie, by the way. I'm a big fan of Christmas movies, and that's a
I had
pretty
a
good.
poll. I don't want to ignore the
Yes, you
poll.
have the poll.
Oh my god, that's so weird. Admiral Teague is in my Rumble chat. That's funny.
That's cool.
That is cool. I just noticed it.
I understand why he's not in your YouTube chat, but hi, Teague.
I wish there was a timestamp. I don't know how long ago he sent that.
Yeah, on the when it comes down to it, I don't really care.
I do, because
I
I
know you
enjoy
do.
my viewers.
I enjoy most of them.
Just remember to check the poll up before you go, Jill, because I'm curious as to what
That's
won.
what I was getting to. Yeah. So I'm
I
gonna
think
share
I,
my
I
screen.
think I think I know what won, but I'm curious.
Yeah, because I think we're wrapping up here because I do have to go get my children. They do
You
need
probably got
me.
about 10 minutes now, I'm guessing, right?
Exactly. I have about 10 minutes or less. And noted,
There,
Scotty. What was
there we go.
noted? What happened? Like, I feel like you and Captain Infinity are having this telepathic communication that I am not even privy to.
We're holding hands and punching each other in the face as usual.
Yeah, that's what it sounds like. You used to have $20 on me every time I surfed Baja for the cops who would pull you over for that very reason. Oh. The Mexican
Jeez.
government says Canadian Spider-Man pays the green coverall mechanic crew since they know it helps the tourism industry and pays back the money multifold in boosting tourism and safety. Oh, so it's not a scam.
Then
Or
my
like
mistake.
maybe you just have to make sure to look for the green coveralls. If they're in blue coveralls, then it could be a trick.
Well, I remember the Invader sci-fi series. The aliens were in green coveralls, and they would kidnap you and mess you up. So
Mhm.
be
So
careful.
Canadian Spider-Man says the children need to learn to be independent,
Yeah.
but they can't drive and they don't have a car, unfortunately. So I have to retrieve them.
Yeah, that's a few
But
years away, right, Jill?
but
From when your
but
kids
when
are
they're
going to be.
home, they are mostly the bigger one is mostly stuff. He takes care of. He can cook. He can do all the things. So,
But it's the little one that is always taking your attention away from the
that's
chats,
right.
right?
She can't do any of those things.
I've actually kind of become a big fan of when you go, oh, I got to go away for a minute.
So is Herc 130. Herc 130 loves it when my YouTube
Uh,
fun is interrupted by my daughter.
it is
Well,
fun.
you're going to be getting a Christmas present for your daughter and no one else, not you, not your husband, not your son, but your daughter. I am sending a flamethrower, an Elon
Flamethrower.
Musk flamethrower,
That's pretty
That
scary.
that doesn't sound dangerous at all. That sounds
and a
perfectly
bag
fine.
of marshmallows.
Just make sure you take it outside when you do the marshmallows.
So it looks like They Live is what we're watching next week.
Not a bad choice.
Well, I voted
Yay.
for any John Carpenter film that I have never seen. I got to vote for because I'm looking forward to watching it.
I voted for Fortress, but I do enjoy They Live.
Well,
Mhm,
I read the
mhm.
synopsis on Wikipedia for Fortress, and it was just like, this sounds really depressing, and I just don't want to watch a
Yeah.
really depressing movie.
It feels like but I like it. I like the idea of it because it reminds me of like a Brave New World, which I guess
Oh, it
is
might be
also
great,
depressing.
but
It's got Jeffrey Combs.
I just thought They Live sounded like more of a fun movie. So
It is. I've seen it. So in this instance, I've actually seen it before, but this time I'm going to learn more about it.
yeah, I gotta watch. I'll have to watch it before next Friday, because that
So
should be
Mr.
available.
Miles says, "Tell your kids Star Trek takes priority over picking them up. I'm going to be such a great parent."
Yeah.
Mr. Miles. Yeah, right. I'm sure they'll understand. I'll just call the school and they won't have any problem with abandonment or any such nonsense like that. No, I do have to go, guys, but unfortunately, it's always a thing where I don't want to leave. But we did cover the episode. And I looked for a book for Star Trek Enterprise for like a production book and stuff like we have for all the other series. All the other series get a production book, but I can't find one for there might be one out there, but I don't
Because
know where
books
it
are
is.
never wrong.
And no, it's not that they're never wrong. It's just that they're more correct.
You like murdering trees. You don't like that trees exist.
Yeah.
Well, hey, they're murdering trees again anyway, Scotty, because they got rid of the plastic bags and now they're offering paper ones again. So
We don't even have paper bags
Oh,
in
our
Ontario.
boxes.
Go
One time
figure.
I was offered a box. Like
I thought
here's
you
a
had to
box for your
leave, and now
groceries.
we're talking about paper goods.
Well, I don't know. PvP just tends to do that to you. I'm gonna
No,
end the
but I
poll.
know. I'm
He's
sorry.
got 39 votes, and I'm going to end it. So I'm going to end the poll.
So They
Congratulations
Live next
to
Friday.
They Live. Yes. So I'm
Almost
gonna copy this in
70%.
case I forget.
Why do polls always end at 99%?
Because YouTube cannot do math.
Seems like it, yeah.
Mr.
Still,
Miles says,
clear winner.
books are never wrong. Correct. That is how I know the earth is flat, hollow, and a globe all at the
Yes.
same
So
time.
it's not that all books are major authorities. It's that some books are major authorities. Just like you got to be able to know how to curate and vet which books you
I have an atlas.
decide to
When I open
enjoy.
an atlas, it shows me the world and it is flat. Thusly, the world is flat.
Mhm. And James Caserta says, "Wake up, Jill. Don't burn." No, I would never burn a book except maybe Twilight. John
Oh,
Malama
shut
says,
your
"I
head,
bring
you
my
racist.
own bags. I am headed to the store in a minute." All right, great. Well, I hope you guys have a wonderful Friday. Make sure. Oh, right. Before I go, I need to get Ben's link to his video. I need to go
Oh, I
to
can do it.
Cinema Go-
I'll
well,
do it.
Can you do it? Because I am.
No, I'm on it.
It's that
Happiness
the
pie.
link to the video that he just posted.
Yep, I got it.
Okay, great. Then I will get the link to Bird's stream.
You got it. But I do appreciate it, and this is so fantastic, and I always am so happy. If I'm antagonistic, it's just because that's the way I am, and I don't mean any ill will. I'm just trying to be playful. But I do appreciate being able to hang out with you and your amazing community, and having me along on this ride is absolutely exhilarating. It's so fun.
Actually,
Oh yeah, it's the
I,
best, and I'm always
I,
so glad when you're here.
I enjoy your antagonism at times, Scotty, because I know you and I sometimes disagree and we debate shit, and we have a good time doing it, though, generally. Sometimes, maybe if I've had a few too many, I might get a little belligerent, but
So,
I don't think you take it personal because,
did you get
it's just me being stupid, but
Did you get
I'm
the
doing
link,
it.
Scotty?
I
I'm
do
doing it.
appreciate you. I just wanted to say.
And I appreciate you, man. Like, it
Thank
is
you.
fun.
Thank
And
you.
we do tussle. We sort of play, but it's kind
But
of
it's
like
it's like
a
friendly.
brotherly wrestle.
It's like friendly wrestling, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. It's all good, man.
Scotty's short from this show is up. Wow. Okay, you're making shorts from my show. Well,
Oh
that's
my.
pretty fun.
That's
Oh,
Who made
okay.
it? Who made that
Oh,
short?
Captain Infinity. Who do you think?
Oh, I'm in so much
Because he loves
trouble.
you.
He's going to make me look like a dummy. Actually, he doesn't have to make me look like a dummy because I already am one. So it doesn't matter.
So James Caserta says rocket science for idiots is cheaper than rocket science for dummies, but not as accurate.
And the link for Cinema Gulp's classic horror chug show is in the chat, and I'm sure that he would appreciate it. I would appreciate it. Bella Lugosi would appreciate it.
Mm-hmm. So there you go. Then everybody, as soon as I sign off, go check out that video, or go put it in another tab and go watch it. And so next time you see me, I'll be reviewing. It'll be Tuesday. So on Tuesday, we're going to review Star Trek, the original series. We're on season 3. So we're really deep into Star Trek now. And when we're finished, we're going to do our top 20 episodes. And so that's going to be a really big one.
Ooh, that sounds good.
Mm-hmm.
But this Tuesday, we're going to be doing Elon of Troyes.
Oh, that's a great episode. I love that one.
And so
I haven't seen it in forever. It's going to be crazy, but I am looking forward to it. And so I'll see you next Tuesday.
Yeah, and so I'll leave you guys with. Oh wait, what do you want to say, baby?
I just wanted to say I think Ellen Troyes is in my top 5 season 3 episodes, because that is the first episode, at least in the order that the network showed it. The first Klingon battle cruiser, like in the original series back in the 60s.
That's a good question. We'll have to look that up for Tuesday.
Yeah, well, I think if it has one, yeah.
I know when they did the the reissues and they did the CGI effects, that I think they had a few seconds of battle cruisers in season 1, like in what was the one, Errand of Mercy or whatever it was, or some of those. But the original run back in the 60s, 70s in syndication was the first appearance of the Klingon ship, I believe, was in Ellen of Troyes.
So the thing is that I do have to go. So you guys, and we'll talk about that on Tuesday, and we'll have They Live on Friday. This is one of the times where I actually know what we're doing on Friday this early.
Nice to know. Yeah, nice to know early so I can watch it.
Thank you guys for talking to me about this great episode. I do wish we'd gotten some kind of hint on who created the station in Dead Stop, but barring that, I really enjoyed my time with the classic exploration of what automation can lead to, which is very relevant to our reality in terms of artificial intelligence and how ChatGPT is doing all the things it's doing. So it's a lovely mix of the ultimate computer and the exocomps, and I love those little exocomps. So it's so cool that they use one in this episode. I'm
what
so
if it was
happy.
The Packleds?
Never mind, no, it would. If it were no,
you have to go. You have to go. I made a Packled joke. Just keep moving.
Because it would have been a hodgepodge of different technologies merged together, so it wouldn't be the Packlets.
You just derailed Jill. You realize that, right, Scotty?
Yeah, I'm so happy. Yeah. Oh, I'm so happy you guys decided to join me today, and I hope to see you all next time. Bird of Prey 5 is starting, so make sure to watch Cinema Gulp's video and then go check out Bird of Prey 5 or Captain Infinity. He's also going to be doing stuff, so whoever you like, or probably Retro Nerd Girl is also doing something. So Fridays are always exciting. You also got Doomcock later, so just rock and roll, enjoy your Friday, and have a happy day.
Well, it's a fun panel and chat today, Jill. So thank you so much
yes,
for inviting me.
You're welcome. So bye, guys. See you next time.
Yeah, bye,
Live
Jill.
long.
Bye, Scotty.
And prosper. Cheers.
See you guys. See you.
Now, the women, they're supposed to be something very special. They're supposed to drive men wild.
Swine, take back your gift. Oh, glory. These are your wedding slippers.
Our interrogation techniques are more excruciating than you are even capable of.
And I will not be given to a green pig as a bribe to stop a war.
That's another one of your problems.
Nobody speaks to me that way.
Scotty, that bomb he planted, can you dismantle it?
Not without being blown halfway across the galaxy.
This is your last chance to surrender.
Your term.
Prepare to be boarded or destroyed.
All right, move along. Done. Stop it. Get off of the things. Go outside. Get some food. It's like, you know, it's a time of day where you live. Go do something. Shut up, Snoopy. I don't care. You smoke too much. Let's go. Let's go adventure. Let's go explore.